So, players have got civilizations to choose from. Now, they've already gone ahead and they've picked the maps that they want. So, we've got Knuschelbär, who has picked Saguenay, Alaska, and Florida, 3 water maps. And we've got Mitoe, who's picked Kamchatka, Central Plains, and Dakota. Now, Game 1 and Game 4 are fixed maps. Fraser River is Game 1. Game 4 is Colorado. So, after you've lost a game, it's your turn to pick your map. Then your opponent picks their civilization. Then you get to counter pick them. So that's the way that it's going to be. Let's take a look and see what the first civilization is going to be. I'm going to suspect, all right, I don't know if I should be doing suspicions, okay, but this is the way I think it's going to go. Noosh is going to first pick probably Portugal. I'm going to go, Noosh first picks Portugal. Mitoe will then pick Sweden and Spain. And then Noosh picks Japan. I don't even know. Japan Houdenays? Japan Houdenays? Then Mitoe will pick China. Maybe Mitoe picks China in the first round because he loves China and he doesn't want to lose it to Noosh. All right. I'm going to see if there's a co-caster available. Where is he? Now, it's not the normal co-caster that you would be thinking. Oh, a co-caster. I'm going to just send him a message. All right. Noosh doesn't play China, does he? Noosh plays every civ. Noosh is like, remember, when the tabletoppers were happening, Noosh was playing on his, on Twitch, and he was just going random every single game. And he was maintaining like 2100 ELO. Actually, he was rank 1. Like, just playing random. So, impressive stuff. All right, let's take a look and see how we go. All right, Noosh is going to be first picking. Let's see what happens. He goes with... Oh, actually, we just want to use the skip function. He goes with Sweden first. All right. Noosh actually number 1 on the ladder right now? Really? Okay, there you go. Noosh number 1. So, Noosh going with Sweden first. Let's take a look what Mitoe's picks are. He's going to be picking 2 civilizations here. So, he's gone with the Japanese and the Spanish. So, that's leaving the Portuguese open for Noosh. So, I suspect, but he's taken away the Japanese there from Noosh. Actually, this is quite smart from Mitoe because both Japanese and Spanish, now, Japanese are kind of like a civilization that Noosh loves to play, and at the same time, Spanish is an S-tier civilization. So, I think that ideally, like, this was a very, very smart choice. Because when it comes to power picking, Noosh can only pick one of these civilizations. He can't pick both. So that is it. Is this live or recorded, Henry? This is live in that I'm speaking to you right now and we're watching this live. But recorded as in these games were played earlier because we actually have the bronze match, I believe, that's going to be coming up after this as well. So you'll find out, who wins this series, who wins the next series. And then it will quite literally be those 2 players playing up against each other. I understand that these games were played earlier today. Getting Port at pick 4. Nice. Yeah, true. All right, let's take a look and see what he gets. I'm going to go with Portugal and Houdenays. Let's see what happens. Portugal, Houdenays. There it is. All right, now Mitoe's turn. I'm going with China, and I reckon China and France. Mitoe's a big France guy. I reckon, but is France even that good? Maybe, what about India? Does he play India? Maybe he plays India. I'm not sure. Let's take a look and see what Mitoe goes for. It's China. We did expect China. And Dutch. Oh, the Dutch, of course. How could you forget Dutch? Because Noosh is a big Dutch player as well, so denying him the Dutch as well, so that's quite good. So what civilizations are left for Noosh at this point? Is there really much? It's like, there's nothing really big left. Like, maybe the Germans? That's pretty much it that I can think of. Let's take a look and see what he goes for. He's going to have 2 picks here. So he's got his final pick, and then he's got a power pick. Keep that in mind. So the power pick is going to enable him to pick any civilization that he wants. So his 4th and final pick is United States. I like this a lot. And his power pick is Spain. All right. Now it comes over to Mitoe, and it's going to be his power pick. So he's going to make a decision whether he wants to go for... He's already got Spain, already got Japan. Swedish... I think Sweden or Portugal is probably going to be the power pick. Let's take a look and see what Mitoe picks. He picks the Swedes. All right. So, we've got... Let's take a look and spot what do we think of the opening matchups. I'm going to check and see whether I've got my... No, I don't. Not yet. Just waiting. I'm still waiting. Oh, there we go. I've actually got game 1 in right now. Wonderful. Let me just save that one. Sorry, you guys are probably going to see that on your screen. So if we were to compare these two, so you've got Spain, Portugal, and Sweden, which are the big 3. And Knusch has picked those up. Now, Mitoe's got 2 of those in Spain and Sweden. But he's also got the Dutch. The Dutch are quite good. As well as the Japanese, which are one of Knusch's strongest civs. And he's also got China, which is a really, really good civilization for him. If I'm Mitoe, I'm very, very happy with this civilization pool. But what do you play against Portugal and Alaska? I think that's the question. I guess Japanese is probably it. And then if we look at Knusch, I mean, Knusch has got a very... I think Udinese and USA. USA is a really, really good counterpick against Sweden. I like that he picked the United States before Mitoe even picked Sweden. Like, he just kind of knew that he would do that. In fact, I think he probably knew that with the Japanese as well. I think against Japan and Sweden, USA is a strong counterpick on both of those, in both of those matchups. So I'm going to move you guys now over to the game time screen. Hopefully everything is all good over here. It is not. Let me just add a source. We can do a display capture. You know what? We'll do a game capture. Let's get a game capture in here. There you guys go. So we'll make sure that we... because I'm playing in 4K. That's why everything is so big for you guys. Let me pull that back down just a little bit. All right, there we go. Now make sure I move that to the bottom as well. There you guys go. Oh, I did have display capture back here. All right, not a problem. All right, so you guys should be able to hear that. Now we'll make sure that we get the names up there for you guys. There you go. Got all that ready. Look how quick I did that one. That was just bam. You know, earlier in the day, my missus said to me, she's like, why didn't you sleep before your stream? It's a big stream tonight. I'm like, I had stuff to do. You know what I was doing? I was doing these names up here. These names up here, that's what I was doing. It took me a while. All right, we've got the games. I'm going to be putting them into my, I think they're in downloads at the moment. There we go. Mitoe versus Knusch, game 1. I'm going to be popping it in here. Hopefully you guys should be able to see it. There it is, Mitoe versus Knusch, game 1 coming in right now. Now, these are getting fed to me one by one. I don't know how many total games there are. Keep in mind, this is a best of 7, okay? I think it's a best of 7. Is it a best of 7? It's a best of 7, right? Wait, Mitoe's from Canada? Really? Don't say that. Is he really? Oh, that's awkward. I just think of Mitoe, I'm like, oh, he's an NA man. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, that's awkward. Don't. Ugh. Ugh. All right. Hopefully, you guys didn't see that, right? Did you guys see that? No one saw that. Surely nobody saw that. No one saw that I got the flags wrong. What's going on here? It's saying, do I have like a new profile picture to select? You can just see the little red outline at the top. All right. Do we restart the game before we dive in? I think we do. And then we quickly dive in. I guess, so when it comes to, let's just talk a little bit about those, a little bit more about that. If I was going to rate these two drafts, objectively, I would say that Knusch is probably slightly ahead of Mitoe, but knowing the civilizations that each player plays, I would say Mitoe's got the edge. I think Mitoe 100% has the edge, simply because he got his China, he denied the Japanese from Knusch, and he didn't get Portugal, but he doesn't really need Portugal. So I don't think it's a particularly bad thing for him. So going into game 1, we're going to be playing on the map. I always call it Hudson River. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But I think we're probably going to see a Sweden mirror. It really wouldn't surprise me to see a Sweden mirror on this match, on this map. I'm just going to pause the game at the start. It is indeed a Sweden mirror. So that does not surprise me at all. All right. Where are we? We are just changing our options. All right. I hope you guys are ready. I'm just going to double check one more time on the Discord. Make sure that we're all good to go. All right. G'day, fellas. Welcome to a game between Mitoe, who spawns in the north of the map, playing the Swedes, and his opponent, Knuschelbär, in the south of the map, playing the Swedes. Now, both of these players are playing blue. It's a little bit confusing, so you're going to have to bear with me as we do our best to try and keep track of who is who. For anybody unfamiliar with where this game is, this is the semi-finals of the Global Championship. It is the $5,000 prize pool that is going to be going towards these players. These guys are in the final four. So we've gone through the drafting phase. Both players have selected Sweden. One of them got Sweden with a power pick. The other player picked up Sweden. I think it was the very first pick that Knuschelbär did. So let's take a look and spot what we've got in the openings. I'm just going to turn on one of my settings that enables me to move that camera around a little bit easier. So there we go. Now I can move that camera around for you guys a little bit easier. So we've got Mitoe opening up with a standard double torp start. We take a look down at Knusch. And Knusch is also doing the exact same thing. So going for that double torp start. This is quite a standard opening. I would say that sometimes you do see players going for a trading post or even looking to deny a trading post from their opponent on this map if the matchup isn't a mirror. But I think overall, this is about what you would expect to be happening. So this map is a map that you wouldn't be familiar with from the standard map pool. It's one that's done custom for this tournament. It's a map that favors Sweden incredibly well. That's why we see a Sweden mirror on this map, simply because you've got those 2 coin mines in base for both players. And then when you take a look out on the map, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 coin treasures, and then reflected on the opponent's side, or mirrored on the opponent's side, you've got those 1, 2, 3, 4 coin treasures, or coin mines. I'm not sure if I said coin treasures or coin mines. And then you've got another coin mine. So in total, you know, when you look down at the mini map, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10 coin mines out on the middle of the field, just ready to be torped up. And you know what? If you're an opponent trying to deal with that, it's incredibly difficult. It is so hard to deal with because there's so many mines for you to keep track of. You look at like Great Plains as an example. Great Plains has got what, 5, maybe 6 coin mines compared to here where there's 10 coin mines. It's a lot. It is an awful lot. So Sweden's a great civilization choice here. 120 XP going to be coming in for Mitoe, so very nice pickup for him early on in the game. Another 90 wood treasure over here and a Native American warrior. Very nice treasure, especially it looks like a Nootka. So this is great to pick up in this matchup as well. Just simply going to help you out a lot more in the early game, just with keeping track of your opponent's settlers. So you're able to chase down settlers with the Nootka. He's got a huge amount of hand attack, 12 hand attack. Once he gets into age 2, he's going to lose that negative bonus against the against villagers. You can see he's got a 0.5 bonus against villagers, so he'll lose that once he gets to age 2. And going to be picking this up. Very nice treasure here for Knuschelbär. So he'll be happy with that. So it looks like Knusch is going to be going for a standard 14 villager age up. It looks like he's going to be able to get it on time as well. Might have picking up a 40 wood treasure. We did spot him going for that up on the north side of the map. And he's looking pretty good as well. He's a bit of food behind, though. If we take a look at Mitoe compared to Knusch is more than 100 food ahead of him. So just, I think, a little bit better micro or macro in the early game. Knusch definitely doing well, and picking up this Nootka as well, definitely going to help him out. And now, let's do a little bit of comparison for decks. So we've got Knusch, or it's rather Mitoe, so deck is called 1v1, standard 3 vills and blueberries in age 1. Followed up with the 700 food? I've not seen this in a Sweden deck ever. Why would you ever need food as Sweden? I'm curious what this could be. There's no unique church card, so definitely not going to be going for halberdiers. When it comes to age 4, it's got all the standard stuff that you'd expect in there. No 16 Carolians, which we've started to see a little bit more in the meta. But everything else looking very, very standard. Got the cav HP in there as well. Mitoe now on the way up. Going to be dropping down that market in transition, so not something that we always see Swedish players do, going for an early market. But going to be able to pick up this 90 wood treasure, so still going to be able to fit in those torps during the transition period. I suspect he's probably even going to be going for Gangsaw, so a nice opening for him. Let's take a look over at Knuschelbär. We'll see exactly what he's up to. So Noosh actually spotting out the settler or the explorer from Mitoe. We've got a couple of raiders coming in from A's 11 as well as from Afroholic. Welcome, guys. Welcome. You're just tuning into game number 1. We've got a Sweden mirror. So just when you thought it couldn't get better, well, we go and we do a bit of a Sweden mirror. And this is exactly what I was talking about with that early Newt cut. This Newt cut is just, oh my gosh. You know, just simply from this happening, this settler now needs to immediately go back to base. But the problem is, by the time it gets back to base, it's going to die. Look how long that walk is. It is such a long walk all the way back to base. So this settler is 100% dead. Unless he somehow manages to pull trick, like, you would need to move 2 villages out to here and then somehow get a pull trick off and then manage to free it. But even then, it's going to be so hard. He's got 5 movement speed and it goes up to 6.25, so it's pretty much just guaranteed to die. We're going to take a look over at Noosh's deck and spot exactly what he's got going on. So no market start from Noosh. He's got 1 settler out at the moment, a second settler that's moving up towards the north as well. We'll spot his deck, and wow, look at Noosh's deck. Oh, he just knows what is going on. I love it, Noosh. He's got that CM in Age 1, as well as the 600 wood, so exactly what you'd expect. No 3 coin mines, but there's 4 coin mines in Age 4, as well as Finn Horses, so a card we don't always see. He's got those 16 Carolians in there as well, so I like this. I like this a lot. You definitely know what he's planning on doing. If you look at his deck, that is for sure. So at the moment, I'm definitely putting Noosh in the driver's seat when it comes to having the ability to control the game. And look at that amount of coin that he's already got banked up there. 300 coin already in base. Just dropping down a barracks with 1 settler at the moment. 442, so not too bad. He's got a cow here. There's 2 cows up at the moment. I'm not sure where that second cow is. It's just down here, hanging out by the settlers. Nootka now on the prowl, out looking. Ideally, you should be up here. I don't think it's worth looking down the south, just because you've got 4 mines up here. You just really want to be patrolling around these 4 mines, because undoubtedly, there's going to be a settler out here. But there's not. There's not. Where are all the settlers from Mitoe? Mitoe's just hanging out in base. He doesn't want to risk losing any more settlers, I suspect. And so as a result, it means Noosh is just going to pretty much have a free go of the map. He's dropped down a couple of torps down in the south of the map. He's got that barracks up now, so going to be able to produce those Carolians if needed. The 700 wood coming in, so both players going to be opting for that 700 wood openings, which is pretty standard. Got Mitoe now sending in Ironworks because he did get that little XP treasure at the beginning of the game. I would say that at this point, Mitoes are definitely a bit behind, primarily because, well, he hasn't eaten his cows yet, so he's not going to get a full batch of Carolians out. He does have his market upgrades, though. If we take a look, he's got no hunting dogs, but he does have Gangsaw. So he gets a batch of 4 Carolians out. So I suspect they're probably going to be heading down towards the south. And now Noosh just beginning to siege down the Torp, the lonely Torp, with a single Nootka clubman. 110 Torp pop to 100 Torp pop, so relatively similar Torp numbers at the moment. And Noosh going to be getting out that batch of 5 Carolians. So I suspect when it comes to this matchup, we're going to be seeing... well, I'm probably going to say the word Torp about 170 times, and I'm probably going to say Carolian about 90 times. So you better prepare yourself for that, because I suspect this might be a bit of a marathon game, especially when we consider that Noosh's deck is in such a decent spot. Now going to be moving out a settler to a forward position. I do like this from Noosh, but a bit of I guess a bit curious on the macro as well. I guess he's on coin mines or out of coin mines, so it's not a particularly big deal. More Carolians now coming out, and Noosh really keeping Mitoe in his base. I mean, at this point, oh my god, look how heavy Mitoe's had to go with Torps in base. 5 Torps on a single coin mine, 4 Torps on this one. He's got 9 Torps in base. I actually remember in the initial balance patches, they changed Torps to have a build radius, and it was a huge radius, and the reason was so that you couldn't fit this many Torps on a coin mine, because you used to be able to fit like 6 Torps around a coin mine, and you still can actually do it. It's very difficult to do it, but it is possible. Looks like this settler isn't going to be going down, despite the Nootka not having that negative multiplier against settlers anymore. Blueberry's going to be coming in now for Mitoe, so he's up on 120 Torp pop. I feel like he's definitely behind on where he should be. I think at this point, he needs to be up a little bit more. Is that settler going to go down? Is that settler going to go down? 6 HP. It manages to survive. So 130 Torp pop now for Mitoe. Expanding down to the south, as well as a little bit up to the north as well. Let's take a look and see exactly where Noosh is up to. So Knoosh is Nush is now also sending in that blueberries card. So both players mirroring each other at this point. Looks like a little bit of a bad trade here for Mitoe. Needs to be a bit careful. His Corollians, it all comes back to missing out that single Corollian at the beginning of the game. It all sort of goes back to that. So important to get that extra batch in. Explorer going to be going down, and Noosh picking up some free XP as well as a couple Corollians. So getting out the nice early trade. Now keep in mind that Noosh is far away from his base. Mitoe's going to have the reinforcements that are going to be slightly faster. So he's got 6 Corollians here, and I suspect he's going to have a lot more on the way. He's going with a double Rax though. This isn't something that we typically see out of Swedes this early. So it's a little bit concerning, I would say, for Noosh. There is a timing push that can be done by Sweden. I've done it successfully multiple times in this matchup, and essentially you really go all in with Corollians in H3. So we can see that the Mitoe's definitely thinking about that with the double racks out now, especially considering he's gone double racks before he's dropped down any more torps. But I suspect that's just simply because he can't really drop down any more torps. I mean, we just see Noosh down the bottom just being ahead of the game. He's got 5 Corollians down here to the south. He's got more Corollians up here denying this torp. I think he managed to kill this villager before it got away. Actually, no, this villager did get away, but he denied the torps. We take a look now over at Noosh and see how he's doing. Noosh going up to the 3rd age now. Exiled Prince in queue. 190 torp population. Noosh is definitely quite far ahead right now, I would say. A significant tempo lead over to him. Mitoe, on the other hand, he's sending in 2 leather cannons. He's getting steel traps. This is not the position that you want to be in. He's going to be able to pick up a little bit of additional XP by burning down these torps, but at the end of the day, that's exactly what Noosh wants because it's buying him time. You got to keep in mind, right, when these torps go down, that's great because it just means that Noosh is going to be able to have that extra time to get up to age 3. He's going to have that extra time to, research those important upgrades like Snaplock. Now, keep in mind, Noosh doesn't even have Jaegers in his deck. He doesn't have the 3 coin mines. He really needs to focus on getting up to age 4 as quickly as possible. But I think it's going to mean that in this matchup, he does actually send the Snaplock card. I think it's quite an important card. One of the things I would like to see him do is actually drop down a 2nd barracks as he hits the Fortress Age and potentially get that upgrade that's so important, the Veterancy upgrade. A couple Corollians now going to be burning it down and actually going with Blackberries. I really don't actually agree with this in this position, just primarily because he's already got so much food. He's got 13 villagers on food right now. He doesn't need any more food. Like, yes, it's definitely the economic choice, but I feel like in this matchup, it's just so important to get that early, that super duper early. And oh my god, Mitoe's timing right now is absolutely on point. Finding out a couple of Corollians, managing to catch them around the outpost. 2 Falconets going to be coming in, getting cancelled, the Blackberries does. And more Corollians now getting trained up as well. Looks like Noosh is doing his best to try and get into that 4th age, but I feel like he might be going a little bit too early. We check back in with Mitoe. Mitoe also going to be moving towards that 2nd, or that 3rd age rather. Never sent through those leather cannons, so actually decided to cancel it, went for team heavy infantry hit points instead. A pretty good decision, I would say. I would be satisfied with that. I think that's quite a decent card to be sending, just simply because you're going to be getting that nice extra 22 HP on your Corollians. It's going to mean that you can survive an extra 2 ranged attacks in the matchup. So it's definitely a worthwhile investment, I would say, when it comes to this matchup. That really important upgrade is that Snaplock, and eventually that's V Lifeguard. So that's what I would expect to see that Mitoe would be doing. 2 Falconets now coming out. Minutemen getting called as well. Curious Minutemen timing. But undoubtedly going to be trying to catch these Corollians off guard, I guess is probably the best way to say it. They do have the Snaplock in. You can just see the... Oh no, they don't have the Snaplock in. Looks like they've got so much range though. Look how far they're firing. It was a little bit ridiculous. Now the Minutemen getting called. I suspect that Mitoe should fall back when he spots those Minutemen. He should know something's up. But actually deciding to engage. Now he's going to be falling back because those Falconets are on the back line. And I think he's going to be making the right decision in hitting that escape button, and he turbos out of there the way that he should. We spot over on Mitoe. We see what he's up to exactly. Huge amount of wood gathered up right now. We're going to have to get an IP check on this and just confirm that it's not Drongo. I suspect he's probably going to be dropping down another Rax, maybe, like a 3rd Rax, an Arsenal, maybe even an Artillery Foundry. I don't think he'll do an Artillery Foundry. I think it's going to be an Arsenal, though. There's just a lot of resources that are sitting right there. It is an Artillery Foundry. It is Artillery Foundry. So a little bit of the getting inspired a little bit here by Give You Anxiety. Dropping down that Artillery Foundry. Normally we don't see that in this matchup too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see some Culverins coming out preemptively just to deny those two falconets, win that falconet war. Personally, I just prefer to go full falconets. You just 7 falk his ass. I think that's the best way to put it. Noosh actually up about 3k score right now, so definitely ahead when it comes to these two players and this matchup. Getting a nice siege over here as well, and going to be getting that age up in queue as well. So what if I'm Noosh in this position, all I'm doing, I'm sieging down these 2 torps, and then I'm going right back to my base to wait for those reinforcing falconets that are coming up. Going up with the King's Musketeer. Very, very curious. And going in with blackberries as well. Really such a greedy play. You know what? Sometimes I forget I'm watching Noosh. Noosh is infamous for his greed, and it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. I think Noosh is somewhat famous. I remember in a team game someone once said, oh, the Knuschelbär build order in Portugal, it's economic theory, 700 coin into 1,000 wood, Royal Mint, refrigeration, factory. That's the build order. It's literally like the greediest thing you can possibly do. It's so greedy. And I guess sometimes in this meta, greed is really what is winning at the moment, so it doesn't surprise me at all. But I guess for Noosh, the one thing, if I'm him, I'm really cautious of is the fact that right now you're pushing up. Sure, you're going H4. Sure, you've got a score lead. Yeah, you're taking out torps, but you're going to lose these. Like, 100% you're going to lose these. There's no two ways about it. You're way overextended. Your opponent is 100%. Oh, no. Oh, no. I spoke a little bit too soon. It looks like we've got the counterattack happening. 2 falconets getting shipped in by Mitoe. Going straight for the jugular. Oh, is he going to cancel the age up here? He could potentially cancel this. This is pretty close. This is pretty close. We're heading... This is about 70% right now. Does this go down? He doesn't have a town militia to call either. He doesn't have the colonial militia to call either. 75%. He's looking like he's about 80% right now. More Carolians coming in. 2,500. Let's see if he actually pays attention or if he just focuses the town center down. He's just focusing the town center down. Is he just focusing the town center? He's even giving up the falconets. He takes down the town center. All of the resources are gone back into the base. It's been cancelled completely. Manages to keep a single falconet alive. It tries its best. The Carolians do, but unfortunately they don't get through. The falconets decided he's going to shoot the barracks, taking a single shot out. Carolians now coming back. I told you he should have brought those Carolians back, and look what happened. The 3 falconet switch. You never thought it was happening. It's happening. He didn't go the culverins. He went the falconets. It was the right choice all along. I can't believe it. Who would have known that all along the counter to the fast industrial was actually the fast fortress with falconet backup? Actually, like, big brain right now. Town center going up in the back of the base. 4 villagers that are building it. Where's that explorer? Explorer up here building torps. Couple Carolians on the back line. Look like they're going to get picked up. More falconets moving in now. Going to begin sieging down that barracks. And we hear those shots going off on the water. 2 falconets. They're going to be just sending the Carolians for a swim. Going for a little bit of a swim. A little bit of a fish down through the river. Another barracks going down. Probably going to be moving his attention down towards the south. I think he is aware of it. We'll take a look from Mitoe's perspective. See exactly what's happening. Huge amount of Carolians. He's got 40 Carolians out on the map at the moment. 3 falconets. This is his entire army right here. But more reinforcements coming in now. And a wall being built at the north of the map. So Mitoe almost just giving up completely on those prospects. And this coin mine's going to be out very, very shortly. 350 coin left on that. We're at 14 minutes right now. But he's taken out his entire opponent's base. I like this a lot. This is very, very greedy from Noosh. And he's been punished for it hugely. Absolutely massive punishment. Looks like these falconets are going to be cleaned up 100%. I don't think there's any way these falconets survive. Trying their best, just getting a volley off there. Looks like they picked up 4 Carolians on the back line, so not a bad effort for them. But 41 Carolians do remain for Mitoe. A swing of 4,000 score right now, so Mitoe in a hell of a lead. This, 2 minutes earlier, 3 minutes earlier, it was Noosh up 3k, and now Mitoe has just totally swung it around, continuing to chase around his opponent. He's on 180 torp population, sending in that 1,000 coin. Now, keep in mind, he's already shipped in blackberries. Okay, so his economy is doing great. He's also shipped in that extra 15 range card. He's got snap block in. We take a look over at Noosh and see whether he's got that in. He doesn't have that in yet. Well, if he does, we don't know about it. No, he doesn't have it in. He's only got 12 range on his Carolians. So, significantly weaker Carolians. 2 culverins also coming in from Noosh. So Noosh setting up shop over now towards the west of the map. 3 barracks going to be going up. It looks like Noosh may be committing to the 3rd age. And I've just spotted Noosh is stacking up a few resources in his bank. I would say 4,000 resources. So the real score is like 12,000 right now until Noosh spends those resources. Because Mitoe I mean, he's doing the same thing, but he's saving for his age up, so I guess that's a little bit different. I guess Noosh can also use those resources for his age up. He does now have his town center up. You know, you could even... Does he have a market up? He just lost his market, so he's not even able to market sell a little bit of that excess food to try and get that age up in queue. But now the tempo is really swung in the favor of Mitoe at this point. Now, keep in mind, Noosh does have these Culverin out. It's going to be able to disengage a fair amount, and we've now got paper cartridge improvement coming in. I suspect that's probably for Mitoe. Let's take a look and spot whether we can see that that arsenal. Yep, there's the arsenal right there. So it looks like he's actually picked up. He's got paper cartridge as well as flintlock. No speed upgrade just yet on it, but huge stat difference. 217 HP against the 180 of the enemy Corollians. And 22 attack versus the 25 attack. So big difference in military units. Mitoe now going up to the 4th age. King's Musketeer as well. We hear a couple Culverins firing off at the veteran Corollians. It doesn't look like they got shots off on the Falconets on the back line. The Corollian's going to continue to siege down that torp. I'm curious about this wall. I don't really know why this wall was built up here. I'd love to know more. What was that wall? Why was it built? Double shot on the Falconets. Oh, baby, it's a double. It's going to be the first Culverin that goes down. Second Culverin looking like it's probably going to stay alive. Managing to trade some shots onto that Falconet. 100% gone. And it is indeed. But look, there's more Corollians now for Mitoe that are going to be in trouble. He's got greater stats, but unfortunately, Noosh has got that slightly greater tempo. So once again, we've seen when both players are aging up, both of them are overextending. Typically, when you're aging up, you do not want to be overextending. You want to be back at your base. You want to be defending. You want to be trying to get those extra upgrades that you can, whether that's the guard upgrade, whether that's Sphere Life Guard. That's what you want to be doing. And unfortunately, it looks like Mitoe's somewhat overextended, but he's still in a decent position now. 29 veteran Corollians against his opponent, who's got 33 Corollians out. So still a significant mass for both players, relatively even numbers. And Noosh now sending in that 1,000 coin, going to be going up to the 4th age with that undoubtedly. So we'll make sure that we spot that out. And a bit of a difficult spot now for Noosh. He's on the back foot, down by 5k score. Just pick that one up. So I suspect from here, what we're going to see, Mitoe's going to hit age 4 right now. When he does that, he's going to be researching the guard upgrade. Also going to be sending Sphere Life Guard. And then he's going to win the game. We can see him market trading all that food away. Needs to market trade just a little bit more. And he's going to be fine with that guard upgrade. Let's see him get that Sphere Life Guard in. This Explorer up here is just doing absolute work. Very, very frustrating. Befehl? Sphere Life Guard now coming in. That's the GG button. And once that gets shipped, it's going to be pretty much GG because Noosh just gets a fight forced upon him. He can't do anything about it. Mitoe just goes straight for the jugular. He knows he's down here. He can just go straight after these barrackses. It's going to cost him a lot of resources. Guard Corollians also coming in behind this. Looks like we've got, is it 2 TCs? I think we've got 2 TCs up now for Mitoe as well. So focusing on his economy. A pretty decent amount of Corollians that are coming in here. 50 Corollians at least. And they're definitely going to be picking these ones up. Guard on the way, as well as Sphere Life Guard. I don't know exactly why he's fighting right now when he could be taking a much greater trade. And I think he's probably realized that as well. Maybe just looking to sort of cut off his opponent before he can get across the other side. But the Corollians and Corollians are beginning to shoot each other exactly as you would expect. Looks like the Culverin in the middle is just going to be taking one for the team. Oh, no, my friends. Wait, that's French. What? I don't know what the Swedes sound like. Oh, no, I do know what the Swedes sound like. Oh, no, my friends! They're always angry, the Swedes. If you know, click on that Explorer. Wait, where is he? Where is he? He's so angry. He's an angry guy. He's an angry guy. All right, we'll take a look back at Noosh. We'll see whether he's aging up. He is aging up. Going up with the Cavalry Marshal? That is a first. I've not seen that. I've not seen the Cavalry Marshal ever used in a match like this. Guard Corollians, Sphere Life Guard, fully upgraded. They've got 1, 2, 3 Arsenal techs in. They've also got the upgrade, the HP upgrade. The only thing that they're missing out on is that Age 3 upgrade, Platoon Fire. That is it. Oh, no. Is this Noosh going to be losing his town center 2 times in a single game? Is it? I think he's probably going to get this one up. I think he should be okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it like this, Mitoe. Oh, he's going to get it. Oh. All right. At this point, you just got to say GG. Oh, man. Oh, you hate to see it. You really do. He wants a fair fight, but he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. Oh, that's 2 times in a row. You are too cheeky, Mitoe. Very, very nice timing. And GG gets called by Knuschelbär. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, gosh. I can't stop myself from giggling. That's too funny. He found it twice. He got it twice. Resources gathered, as you'd expect. Both players are maxing out. Both relatively even. That is that is a very tilting game military unit population. We see a big swing right there over to Noosh. And we'll take a look at village account. Not that it's too relevant. Maybe buildings is the better thing to look at. Yeah, we can see max torps getting reached about 9 minutes. So not too bad either. And we'll do a village look as well. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much of a muchness. So congratulations to Mitoe winning the first game. We'll make sure we fix him up, give him a 1, the Canadian brother, the NA gang, if you will. Now I'm going to go in and check on my replays. I'll spot whether I've got that second replay that's come through just yet. I'll be waiting for that one. Oh, I see we've got some big fans, some Skeletora fans in the chat. Is that what she's called, Skeletora? I think that's her name, isn't it? Skeletora. So I'll just be waiting for game number 2. What do you guys reckon of game number 1? I know it was a Sweden mirror. People don't particularly like Sweden mirrors. They don't particularly like Sweden, full stop. But look, I thought it was pretty funny. I enjoyed Mitoe hitting that timing twice in a row. That was like, what incredible game sense. Another Sweden game will be going to game 2. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, April. I wouldn't be surprised. That is a really good call. I might just say send them all over. Because at the moment, I've got them trickling in one by one to me. But I think it probably just makes a little bit more sense just to get them all over right now. We might put on some music as well, just to keep you guys company. There we go. Game number 2 coming through to me right now. All right, going to be downloading that one. Make sure I pop it in the right spot. All right, you guys should be able to see it now. There it is. Did Noosh have ports or Mitoe? It was Noosh. Is Sweden a decent counterpick against ports? Not really, no. Just because you don't pick Portugal on maps that you can't win. And Portugal just wins all the other maps. All right, let's take a look at game number 2. We'll turn that music off. Or at least we'll try and turn that music off. Oh, it did work. All right, now you will see this artifact up here. This is from the last game. Keep that in mind. I'm going to turn that one over. That's all right, Harrison. That's all right. We're not too fussed. We're not too fussed. You know, I'm always here just to keep him company. All right, I'm gonna just take a little quick stretch, guys. Just give me a minute. Just got to get up. You know, I got my vaccination yesterday, so my arm is like a little bit. What's the word? A little bit lazy, I guess. It hurts to raise my arm. So, yeah. I just got to sort of like stretch it up a little bit. Yeah, a little bit sore. Astra? No, it was the Pfizer vaccine I got. Oh, I'll keep you guys up here though. I've got my microphone is on the stand. Let's go, vaccine gang. I have both vaccines. Really? I didn't know that that's a thing. I bet the 5G signal you emit now will make your streams better. It's true. I've noticed a significant increase in my 5G signal. You should have seen what happened. So when the Facebook chip from my flu vaccine met the Google chip from my my COVID vaccine, it was insane. They were like, they were fighting each other. It was crazy. Oh, all right. Oh, that's a good crack. That is a good crack. I just cracked my back like a madman. Just 5G, not 6G? Wait, is 6G even a thing? Do we have 6G yet? All right, I'm just going to take a swig of the Red Bull. Apparently the jab makes you bald in 5 minutes. Oh, 5 months. Don't say that, Barbarous. Don't say that. Bro, don't say that. Oh, that is terrible. Wait until tomorrow, 48 hours after my Pfizer, I couldn't lift my arm for a date. No, EGC TV, don't say that. Oh, man. Deck list, please. Don't you worry, Bazoo. I'm going to try my best to pronounce your name. Buzakulum? I'm assuming you're from Turkey. With a name like that, I think you're from Turkey. Are you from Turkey, Buzakulum? We will be showing you the decks as soon as the players have picked their decks. I'm not going to show you the deck list because that will make the game go out of sync. Oh, Big Lacastat in the chat. Yes, we do need you. Huh, there he is. All right. Hello.
What's up?
How's it going?
Not bad. I just didn't know that they changed the schedule at all.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's like 17 GMT today, and then 19 GMT tomorrow, and then like I just saw right now it's 15 and 21.
I can hear your voice. Did you just wake up, Lacastat? Be honest with me.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm not sure exactly what happened with the scheduling. I think it was a little bit last minute. It was probably my fault because I wasn't really clear to them. So apologies on my part for that one. But look, we've got you now, and I'm sure it's going to be a long series. You know, I think this is a best of 7. So at a bare minimum 4 games, at a maximum 7 games. So I hope you're ready. You missed out on the first game. First game was a Sweden mirror.
All right. Okay.
We saw 2 town centers burn down. And both of the town centers were aging up at the same time. Like, they were aging up as the town centers got burned down twice. So I'm going to turn you up just a little bit. And hopefully, all right.
All right. Ready when you are.
All right. How is Lacastat sounding now, guys? Is he sounding nice and loud? Is he sounding as good as I am? You got to talk, Lacastat.
Okay. Guys. Hi. What's up? Yeah, just a quick sound test.
All right.
Do I sound any better now?
Yeah, you sound pretty good. You sound a little bit sick. It's kind of like sick crossed with morning voice.
It's definitely morning voice.
All right. All right.
It's typical 6 p.m. morning for me.
It's a weird time for you to be awake.
I know.
All right. Well, let's get into it. All right. Let us do it. G'day, fellas. Welcome to a game in the Global Championship. This is the semi-finals. We've got Mitoe up against Knuschelbär. Spawning in the south of the map is Mitoe on his trusty Chinese, and his opponent spawning in the north of the map is Knuschelbär playing the Haudenosaunee. Now, Haudenosaunee, sometimes you call them the Haudenosaunee, the Horde, the Houdanese, the Iroquois. That's what they used to be called. What do you call them, Lacastat?
I'm on the Houdanese train.
The Houdanese train.
And easy, yeah, of course, easier to pronounce than Haudenosaunee, which is just a pain in the ass.
Yes, it's quite a long name, isn't it? But already we've seen that the Haudenosaunee explorers now spotted a little bit of action in the middle of the map. We've got a treasure contention already. They're going to be fighting over an 80 wood treasure here, and it looks like Mitoe has just walked away. He said, "You know what? If you're going to be here, I'm going to run away." And that's exactly what he's done. And they've just gone their separate ways. So Knuschelbär gone to the north, and Mitoe going to be going down to the south. Now on this map, we're obviously playing on Florida. China up against the Haudenosaunee. Haudenosaunee starting off with the water. How do you feel about this matchup? Who do you think is in the better position?
It feels like a great map for both. A lot of resources. There are some sheeps that are quite beneficial for China, and you also have the water. So yeah, water stud for Haudenosaunee is also good for sure. So don't know who's the strongest civilization. I think I'd say Haudenosaunee by a bit, but China can definitely win.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the same way. I think, you know, any kind of map where Haudenosaunee gets to sort of play standard land, but also gets to do water start. It's like, it's a great map for Haudenosaunee. Anything where there's like a main focus on water might be a little bit harder for them. But yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with you. It looks like we've got Mitoe, who's going to be going for the 3 village opening that he normally does. So picking up a 135 coin treasure and doing a bit of market trading. He's going to be sending in his card from the home city. He's doing the northern refugees. So he's going to be dropping down that third. Is he dropping down the third, or is he going for a trading post here? Oh no, okay, he's come off now. I was just curious because he was over gathering a little bit there. But we'll take a look at his deck. He's got a deck called 1v1 Half Water. So he's got the Fusion in Age 3 as well as the 2 War Junks. Nothing else too out of the ordinary with this deck. What do you reckon of the deck?
Well, I mean, I was about to say standard, but actually this is like quite H2 focused, I feel. There are the 2 War Junks. You have all the crates you need to play long H2 as well, so wouldn't be surprised to see Mitoe playing H2.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I've seen Mitoe play a fair bit of China recently, both on the ladder and in scrims, and one of the things that he's been doing this 700 wood, 600 wood build order. I think he goes 700 wood, 600 wood, and then goes like the 8, then the 7, then the 9, or something like that. It's a huge amount of military units that he gets out really, really early into the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out something similar in this game. If you take a look over it at Knusch, he's actually picking up the 100 coin treasure himself, so both players finding some pretty decent coin treasures. Knusch is actually going to be getting 4 fishing boats in Age 1. Now, do you have a preference for 4 fishing boats in Age 1 or 3 fishing boats in Age 1, or is it like if you get a good treasure, then you go for 4, or how is it? Because I normally just go for 4, but I seem a little bit late when I age up.
Yeah, I think it depends on your game plan. I mean, do you want to reach H2 as soon as possible? Like, is there any livestock you can eat to speed up your age up? Do you find a wood treasure to make an additional boat? Like, all these things to consider, kind of. Like I mentioned, yeah, I'll always go for 3 boats because I know I'm gonna get some yaks and most likely 70 or 80 wood treasures. So I can make an extra one for free as well.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. We actually spot he's going up to the second age now, and he's going to be going up with the chief. So no real surprise there. I think we see players go the chief quite a fair bit, and we actually spot the war chiefs now going to be fighting off against each other. Well, I say war chief, but it's actually a monk. Native scout getting picked up, and look at all the reinforcements coming in now for Knuschelbär. He's going to bring in the pirate. He's got the Haudenosaunee tomahawk. He's also got the other pirate as well. Going to be picking up 90 XP for his troubles. Wang Lang going down from Mitoe.
Damn, that is huge.
More fishing boats happening in the transition period as well. We'll have a look over at Mitoe and see exactly what he's up to. So I got that Summer Palace going down. No real surprises there. 4 villagers on that one. And sticking at the front of his base, I really like the way that Mitoe's built his base. They're very secure. It's almost like a bit of a Dutch base. One of the things I noticed with Mitoe is he loves to do this sort of base building. It just seems like every single player or every single civilization that he plays, he does this with. So no real surprise to see it here.
Yeah, agreed. He's always got great building placements around his base.
All right, well, as we enter into the transition period, 4 minutes 22. What do you expect that we're going to see out of Knuschelbär? Do you think that we're going to see... I would suspect that we're probably going to see Age 2 play as well, because he's probably going to know that that's what Mitoe's up to. Would you think the same thing?
It looks like it, because he's getting like a lot of wood, and he's not going for trading posts just yet, so most likely going to be training some units in H2 for sure. Like, we know Knusch is the type of player to just, like, greed and defend, and that could be good if Mitoe decides to go for his H2 play.
Yeah, well, that looks exactly like what it's going to be, and you mentioned greed. We take a look at his deck, so it's called Water 1. We've got the 5 villagers that are coming in with it at the moment, so he's got the Water Dance in there, as well as the 3 privateers. He's also got the 4 war canoes in Age 3, and one of the curious things, we've got the French cuirassiers in there as well, so they've obviously been fixed up in the most recent patch. They now are actually veteran cuirassiers. I'm sure you know. Previously, they were not veteran cuirassiers. They were just Age 2 cuirassiers, so it's good that they've been fixed up. Now sitting in the 600 wood as well.
It's a great shipment for sure.
Yeah, definitely is. I would say it's probably one of the best in the game. It's great for timing. It's a really, really important one. If you can get your opponent's army underneath a shipment point, 5 cuirassiers popping out at the same time, it's pretty big. A big mercenary shipment. But we've now got 600 wood on the way as well. So a corral as well as the war hut drop down for Knuschelbär. So definitely going to be playing a bit of an Age 2 agenda. with this 600 wood, I expect we're probably just going to see a continuation of more fishing boats being put into production. Maybe he drops another longhouse down. Probably going to be training up a few more horses from the corral. But it looks like the timing was off on his the timing was off on his Kanya horseman. So it looks like the Kanya horseman was trained about 5 seconds early. If it was trained just 5 seconds later, he would have been able to finish the batch. But unfortunately, wasn't able to do it. Now going to be dropping down a tribal marketplace as well. So really looking to just.
I love that he just cancelled his Kenny and Rikyu and gonna try to complete his badge this time in Git 5. Love that Knusch is also like scouting a lot with these treasure guardians that he converted in H1, so he knows there's a lot of Chikunu. And most likely, I love that he's going like Aenas and Kanye as the opening units he's training so far. Which makes me think that he's been like doing his homework, and like watched a lot of Mitoe's previous recs, and he knows that Mitoe goes for these Chickanus and pikes in position quite a lot.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what's happening as we enter into the 6 minutes and 45th second. The pikes as well as the Chokanu are now pushing up. Going to be providing a little bit of resistance because the Kanya are now coming in. And take a look at the shipments that are coming in. He's got the 4 Kanya horsemen that are being shipped in, as well as making 3. So I love that he's made only 4 Kanya when he could have made 5, just to sort of trick Mitoe into a false sense of security. So sort of a bit of a mind game in saying, oh, I've sent 4 Kanya from the home city. That's what this is. Don't expect a big swing, and then all of a sudden there's going to be 12 cav that pop out and they're going to absolutely crush his army. So it's actually kind of, a really big brain move, the fact that he's thought that far ahead. At least that's the way I'm reading it. Do you think that that's the same kind of thing that he's doing?
It could be the case, yeah. I mean, it's always good to trick your opponent into thinking you sent something that you actually did not send just yet. Bit of a mind game there. I'm curious to see if Mitoe is sending steppy riders or at least training some.
Yes, he's got 7 step riders on the way, as well as training more standard army. So he's got 2 in queue at the moment. But doing his best to try and get some cavalry out in response. Going to be a bit of a difficult spot for him though, because there's just such a big mass of Kanya riders. It's going to be hard for him to hold on to this, I think, because there's just a distinct lack of pike. He's only got 6 pikes out at the moment. It's 4 step riders, and the 7 are still coming in at the moment. So the Aina look to be getting into the battle, trying their best to just force the opponent back. A couple of disciples out there as well, just doing their best to get critical hits in. Minuteman getting called from the town center. It looks like there's going to be a pretty good pop on this village here as well. Double Minuteman batch getting called. There's the 7 steps popping out, getting a nice snare on those Aina at the back. And Mitoe doing a great job of managing to repel those disciples, putting in a lot of work, as well as the Minutemen doing their best. A couple of villagers getting in amongst the action as well. And the step rider timing manages to actually hold this and looks like it's going to be able to force back. More disciples now being trained up by the monk. Wang Lang doing his best to get in there amongst the action. You see him just punching and kicking and flying, and unfortunately he's fallen down, victim, but he's going to be able to repel the attack. And it looks like Mitoe's actually managed to hold on to this 12 Kanya Horseman timing attack. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best 7-steppy rider spot I've ever seen in a while. Usually these guys just don't do anything, but here that was definitely the clutch shipment with the Minutemen and the leftover pikes he had from his previous timing, so nice cleanup for Mitoe, and we have to see the follow-up. I like that he's sending 2 wall junks and gonna try to do something about the water.
Yeah, I think the 2 war junks here is going to be really smart because, Knusch is kind of like fallen into this difficult spot. Does he go age 3? What does he do here? Well, now he's got another problem because he's going to have to deal with the war junks. And 100%, Mitoe knows he's on water because he can actually see that the fish are down. He's also scouted the dock as well. So, going to be a very easy one for him. I suspect he's probably just going to be running up here. He's probably not going to be looking to actually kill that dock. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, but do his best to try and just prevent any of the fishing from happening. A couple of Kanya Horsemen also moving into raid as well. We'll tune in back with Knusch and see exactly what he's up to, and indeed going up to that Fortress Age. Looking to get there eventually. Training 5 Kanya at the moment as well, but he's got 7 fishing boat out, so definitely nothing to sniff at. Who do you think's in a better position at the moment?
I still think Hero is in a great position. Still got a bit of Water Rico. I mean, like 40 views at 10 minutes for Haudenosaunee is like Really nice. He's close to go to the Fortress Age, and he's keeping Mitoe busy with really small mini raid. And if Mitoe doesn't do something about either the dock or just like push Knuschelbär main base really soon, then you know, Haudenosaunee going to the Fortress Age before China and touch, he's really strong.
Yeah, it's a difficult. It's definitely going to be a difficult spot for him because, you know, what does he do against that Forest Prowler timing push? It comes in because undoubtedly going up with the Messenger, which means he's going to be up in before the 11-minute mark. Probably going to be dropping down that second War Hut and then just, you know, sending the 8 Forest Prowlers from the home city. Combine that with 10 Forest Prowlers out. Really going to be putting a lot of pressure onto Mitoe, and it's tough. Like, how does he deal with that? But he's managing to clean up the little raids that are coming in at the moment. Both players sort of doing their best to just prevent any gathering. We see that Noosh has actually dropped down 3 villages at the moment, so losing a couple of fishing boats. Mitoe, on the other hand, he's sitting up on 33 villages. Now, does Mitoe actually have... I don't think Mitoe's got a consulate up yet. It doesn't look like he does. So he's sitting on 523 export at the moment. And, yeah, no consulate. So sending in the huge chest of coins. So going to be looking to get up to the Fortress Age himself. 29 villages on food at the moment, so definitely quite a decent food income. And just keeping his war junks out on the edge of the ocean, just preventing them from sort of dying to the dock, but doing the right thing. And unfortunately not keeping Noosh idle though. So Noosh definitely being aware of it. But down to only 4 fishing boats now, so a very small, a minor presence, if you would, on the water now. But he's done a great job of just sort of keeping that economy back and preventing any further expansion.
Yeah, totally agree. I'd love to see him drop a consulate at some point as well, as you were mentioning earlier. I think he had extra coin from the crates that he could trade into wood. But Knusch though, sending 6 Kanye, I believe, and gonna look to apply some pressure.
Yeah, the 6 Kanye going to be coming in. He's already got the Elite Kanye upgrade as well, so combine that with the War Chief Explorer aura, and it's 391 hit points, so a very decent chunk of hit points there for those Kanye Horsemen. Forest Prowlers beginning to move out as well, so those are ready to put a decent dent in the base of Mitoe. But Mitoe just doing a great job in just keeping his opponent idle. I don't know why he's just not up here on these fish up to the north. He's got 4 fishing boats and three canoes, so he's doing the right thing now. Don't those canoes just look absolutely awesome? I love the little villages that are... I say villages, but I love the little war canoes that are just sitting there. They look absolutely great. And we continue moving down now. Elite Kanye Horsemen going to be looking to apply a little bit of pressure. Slowly, those Forest Prowlers are moving in across the map. So we saw the 6 Kanyes coming in. What do you think the next shipment's going to be from the Haudenosaunee player?
But he's stacking a bit of coins. I wonder if he's gonna go for the French Cuirassier next, or just send crates maybe and mess up, which would also be fine because he's gonna need some wood.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I'd be curious to see exactly what he goes for, because the shipment's just come in right now and goes for those crates as you suggested. So, yeah, definitely the right decision, I think. Going to enable him to sort of leverage those resources a little bit more. A couple of war junks now going to be in a bit of trouble. War canoes are pushing out. Going to be losing the first one, going down and exploding in flames, and that army is continuing to move around now towards the south of the base, and a huge mass of light infantry. I say light infantry, probably ranged infantry is the best term for it. Looks like he's just going to be losing this war junk, giving it up. I don't know whether he's got the APM to stop that, or whether he just decided to give it up. I think he probably just decided to give it up, especially because there's now war canoes out for Knuschelbär, so definitely committing to the water. Did he actually send those from the home city? No, he must have made those. He's made a single war canoe.
Yeah, he made those for sure.
Yeah, so I suspect we're probably going to see him invest a little bit more on the water now, because obviously picking up all these resources at his base is going to give him, what, 400 wood? So plenty of resources to continue making fishing boats.
Yeah, for sure. And so he's also invested quite a lot into warships. So I think he trained like 5 or 6 canoe plus a war canoe just to deal with the 2 war junk shipments. So it would make sense for him to like start making additional fishing boats right now and try to make this water eco paid off.
Yeah, he got a huge amount of value out of that 2 war junk shipment. Impressive stuff from Mitoe. Who would you say is in a better position at the moment? Who would you rather be?
tough to say. Scores are looking good for Mitoe, and I believe he's got a stronger economy at this point. But for the Knuschelbär units, once you get that big mass of Forest Prowlers and Canyons are also really strong in H3, and Musket Riders just don't die. And like, it's tough to say. It kind of depends who gets the better trade in this big fight incoming, because I feel like the Knuschelbär's units are much stronger, but China could get more mass.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, but we now see the cavalry beginning to connect with the Forest Prowlers. The Forest Prowlers have been forced back. They've managed to make it to the other side of the Musket Riders, and now the Chokunu are being focused, well, are doing their best to focus down the elite Kanya Rider, but you can just see they've got so much health. A single volley doesn't even kill a single Kanya Rider, so very, very strong. We've now got the Disciples on the front line. They're going to be doing their best to sort of just provide that little bit of leverage. It definitely looks like Noosh is in a good spot here. Kanya Rider's going to be on top of the Chokunu and getting a wonderful trade in here. Doing his best to just fire off and take out those Musket Riders on the back line. But he actually manages to repel it, Mitoe does. And Mitoe now moving forward with his Musketeers in melee. And relatively even trade. What do you think about that? Was that a relatively even trade in your opinion as well?
Yeah, it looks like an even trade, because all the Kenya are dead and all the Chinese Cav is dead as well. But this kind of trade is just good for Haudenosaunee, I feel, because it's easier for them to replace Kanye than for China to actually mass Cav and anti-Cav, because right now all these spikes are dead as well.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we see that he's continuing to train Forbidden Army, so it's the 4 cavalry. And more reinforcement cavalry coming in through now, so the elite Kanya. We take a look, there are those French renegade cuirassiers that are also coming in, so a bit of a tough timing right now as well. So 4 Kanya horsemen plus those renegade cav, there's also more Musket Riders in queue, so really going a little bit troppo with all of the cavalry that's coming in. Looks like Mitoe's going to be idling a fair bit here as well, so I'm curious how Mitoe's going to be able to stop this, because what is there that China can ship that can actually do anything here? I'm just thinking, like, obviously Manchu aren't going to really they're not going to really do much because the Forest Prowlers are so strong. Maybe Iron Troops?
Changdao would be good.
The Changdao, you think?
You could get, I mean, it's not great versus Hode's army composition, but if you can get a pop and a surround from the village, or even intervention would be good if you can snare with the redcoats and get his cav on top of the Forest Prowlers and just set moving infantry, then you could potentially get a good trade, and that's definitely what he needs right now.
And that's exactly what he's gone for. So he's gone for the intervention. The muskets now moving in, getting into melee combat. They've managed to snare up a couple of Forest Prowlers. They're doing their best to just sort of slow them down, just so that the Kanya or the enemy cavalry can get in on top of them. The cuirassiers are doing pretty well for 561 HP. So these guys are tanky boys, and more reinforcing Musket Riders. Definitely a difficult spot now for Mitoe, I would say. Noosh looks like he's going to be able to clean this one up. And
He has just one die to trigger it, and the DPS with these Forest Prowlers and Musket Riders is just insane.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Good game getting called by Mitoe. And congratulations over to Noosh. So tying up the series, 1-1. Not too bad at all, hey?
Yeah, really solid unit control from Knusch, especially in the first fight, where it looked like there was like a lot of units for both players, but yeah, Knusch doing a good job at focusing the China cav and the anti-cav, and then making the most of these Forest Prowlers.
Wow, I'm in awe. That was just really, really well played by Noosh. We'll take a look at the military unit population as well, and yeah, you just see Mitoe diving down at the end. Noosh was down to 1 military unit at the 8 minutes and 50 second mark. So yeah, pretty tough spot for him. All right, let me fix up that scoreboard. All right, and let's dive into the third game. I might just restart my game quickly, just because you know how Age of Empires is.
All right, I'm gonna use that break to get a drink as well.
All right, mate. All right, guys, I'm just loading up the third game right now. Also going to be reloading Age of Empires, so that one's going on now. How'd you guys find that game? That was a bit of a tough one. All right, game 3 is going in. There we go. That sounds like a coffee. Did you guys hear that? I think that's a coffee machine right there. Why am I restarting? I'm restarting just because of Age of Empires, so it gets a little bit buggy after... I'd like to say about like 2 or 3 games, depending on the length of those games. So that's why we're restarting, just to prevent it from lagging up too much. So we'll jump into the third game. I know that Lacastet isn't with us at the moment, but I think we best get into it. Just gonna unlock it and fix up this one.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Welcome. Did you get a coffee in the break? Was that what I heard? I thought I heard the old coffee machine going.
Oh, yeah. Just made a quick coffee.
Wow, he didn't offer me one.
Oh.
All right, you ready to jump into game number 3?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's do it. G'day, fellas. Welcome to game number 3 in the series of Mitoe versus Knuschelbär. This series is part of the Global Championships. We're in the semi-finals. This tournament is for a total of $5,000 prize pool. So it is the big money right now because these guys are in the final 4. The winner of this game will go, or the winner of this series rather, will go through to play against the winner of the second series between either H and Age of Killer. So it's a bit of like the old guard versus the new guard. H being, somewhat old, not really playing the new AOE. Age of Killer, somewhat, a proponent of the new AOE. In the north of the map, we've got Mitoe, or rather Knuschelbär playing as the Swedes. South of the map, we've got Mitoe playing as Chinese. How are you feeling about this matchup, Lacastet?
It's just Sweden. Sorry.
That's all right. That's okay. It's an appropriate comment. I know that people have got mixed feelings about Sweden, but typically they're not positive feelings. And look, I know that people talk a lot of bad stuff about Sweden, and I accept it's a pretty strong civilization. But I feel like this is a difficult matchup. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna do this and this is gonna be a free win because it works versus everything China can do. Nah, China can definitely do fine. And if Mitoe goes for this matchup while he gets the counter pick as well, then he definitely has something in mind.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like the fact that he's got the counter pick and he goes into this matchup and and willingly takes this matchup, I think he's definitely got something in mind. I'm just going to try speeding up the game. Hopefully that fixes up that there's a little bit of delay that's going on. Hopefully that fixes it up. We'll have a look and see what the decks are. Knuschelbär just going with the land 4 deck, so a little bit less aggressive on the age 4 front here. A couple more cards in age 3 and age 2, so he's got all those extra unit shipments in there, as well as a couple more in age 3 as well. But yeah, he's got the 6 mams in there, which is quite important. What do you think of this Swedish deck?
It looks pretty normal to me. You have the cannon count in age 3, which is a possibility versus China. But yeah, everything he wants in age 4. There's 4 mines as well, just in case this game goes for longer than expected. And yeah, overall pretty standard deck for Sweden.
I actually missed just there. We had a little bit of a treasure contention. Knuschelbär managing to pick up the treasure, managing to walk away, and doing a pull trick and pulling his explorer to safety as well. So he's having a pretty good day today. Definitely,
toxic.
Yeah, definitely toxic. Looks like he's going to be trying to get that 14 villager age up in. We'll have to keep an eye on him and spot it. Northern refugees now coming in for Mitoe as well. So we'll check in over on him and see what he's up to. He's got those 3 villagers that have gone down. Well, he's got 2 villages, but 70 population. So there is a 3rd village out on the map, and it is indeed a forward village. I like this a lot from Mitoe. It already tells us what he's going to be doing. And curiously, he's just got 2 villagers just out chopping wood. I think he's just like, he's so far away from the hunt. He's like, you know what? I don't even want wood. I don't even want food at this point. I'm just going to go with the with the wood. But even sending out goats as well. Oh, he's sending out the goats to these forward villagers to help them age. Oh, he's so smart, isn't he? That kid has got a big brain.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah, he does indeed.
Have a look at what his deck is named. Do you agree with that deck name? How not to play?
I feel like every time he picks this deck, he's playing H2. But yeah, I guess if he goes for it, then it's definitely a viable play. And well, Mitoe just likes to meme a bit
Yeah,
about his strats and
he's got the card Mongolian Scourge. What do you think of this card? So it's the card that does your Step Riders do more damage against villages and buildings. Keshiks do more damage against heavy cavalry and coyote runners. Iron Flails do more damage against archers and skirmishers. What do you think about that card?
it's not a bad card at all. I think yeah, it's definitely viable.
请下命令。
Especially if you play long H2, you don't have that many upgrades in H2. You have like the card that gives HP to your standard army, I believe, and you also have this one, which are the two main upgrades you can send. So
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. It makes sense. I guess with the extra space in there, it definitely does make sense. But you see a little bit of action now. So Mitoe going up with the Summer Palace, which is quite standard to Age 2. Going to be providing him that slow trickle of army, as well as the 400 food when he gets up to the next age. Knusch going up with the Naturalist, which is pretty standard, doing a 14 villager age up and beginning to move out onto the map. He's got his first villager down towards the south and the second villager up towards the north. Both of the villagers beginning to herd in towards these torps, so doing the right thing, getting them all gathering up those extra resources. But we can see that he started off with a TP, so most likely going to be playing some sort of 700 wood, maybe into 2 leather cannons. I think that's probably going to be the right choice or the right call for him to do it. Very sneakily waiting for Wang Lang to go past him and then dropping down these walls. So very curious. I find it interesting that he's walling up. Typically, one of the things I like to do to Lacasta is take my opponent's coin mines. I love to send a villager down here, take this coin mine, take this one down here as well, take this one up to the north. I really love to do that. But it's curious that we see walls going up here. Do you think that's does that make sense to you? What's the whole mindset behind the walls?
Well, he could make a gate if he wants to go top this mine on the other side, but then it would be quite costly. It just looks like to me that Knusch just anticipates some H2 pressure and he wants to build tops where he knows he can defend them for the time being. And that's why he's just walling this choke, forcing Mitoe to actually push from the other side and potentially catch some units. And yeah, that could be one of the reasons why he's not topping that aggressively.
Yeah, that could make sense. He's just now scouted it out with his settler, the forward base in the middle of the map. So we can see that he sent 700 wood to start himself off. He's now going with Ironworks as his follow-up card. It's curious that he hasn't actually switched that up. Mitoe, on the other hand, also opening with 700 wood. Going to be sending in his follow-up, which is 600 wood. So I've seen this build order before from Mitoe, a very potent build order. Looks like these walls are going to be going up nonetheless. But maybe he's just putting the walls up just to try and buy himself a little bit of time. And I guess he's obviously not torping as aggressively as what I would torp. Like, typically I would be torping up on this mine, and there's the Explorer there. And I guess that's free XP for your opponent in a way. Whereas,
yeah, for sure.
It looks like he's going a little bit more safe. He's torping up his own mine behind here. He's got a third torp going up in base as well. A couple more torps going down towards the south of the map. And now that wall is getting sieged. Batch of Corollians coming out as well. So 4 Corollian batch coming out. Next shipment going to be coming in for Knusch. Let's see what it is. I suspect we're going to be... Yeah, it is indeed the 2 leather cannons coming in. So quite a strong card. And Mitoe's going to be on the...
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it definitely does, especially with these walls up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see another line of walls coming in just across this this sort of choke point. I say choke point. It's not really a choke point because it's quite large. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Now the Corollians doing their best just to harass a little bit the pikemen, but the Chokanu managing to actually take down a Corollian and forcing him just to lay down gently by the riverbed.
So Mitoe is on 2 war academies, right?
Yep, 2 war academies now. Look at that macro. That is just absolutely insane. He's got 21 villagers on food right now. Literally, yeah, like 80% of his economy right now is just on food because he's got that much wood stacked up in the bank. Training out of both of the war academies, so a huge amount of units. And surprisingly not moving up to the north despite knowing about those torps. So he does actually spot them up there to the north. But looks like he's going to be moving in for some sort of pincer move, potentially. Maybe a look to actually do some damage here.
Yeah, that's true. I think we didn't have enough Choconu, and that didn't feel safe about like the Guardians already on the field from Knuschelbär, but yeah, he's gonna spot the leather cannons now. So curious to see how he's gonna react to that.
Looks like he's cancelled. He was initially going with pikes, but he's cancelled that in favor of the Chukonus. So I guess that makes a bit of sense, because one of the things you can do with the leather cannons is just brute force them down if you've got enough ranged infantry. And so I suspect that's what we're going to be seeing out of him. We take a look over at Noosh and see exactly what he's up to. 150 torp pop, so definitely doing pretty well for himself. He's dropping down a 16th torp, a 15th torp right now. So pretty darn decent for him. Looks like he's going to have to be replacing his torps, though, because to the north of the map, he's actually going to be losing a couple as these pikes begin to lay waste. Eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
There they go.
And behind that, he's already got Iron Works, I think, and now he's getting blueberries. And yeah, he's gonna get insane.
Yeah, I think the fact that he's picked up that TP has really helped him out. In this matchup, typically, if you don't send the 2 leathers, then you're probably just going to die to this timing attack. And if you
he's trapped.
If you do send the leathers, then you're in a difficult spot. What do you mean he's trapped? Oh, that's what you mean he's trapped. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's trapped.
That is a lot of units.
Ooh, but that's a massive thing. Yeah.
Pikes now coming in on top of the ladders, going to be eating it up completely. Managing to get a snare on those Corollians as they try and get away. And just, there are so many units coming out for Mitoe right now. At first, I was confused when you said that he was trapped. I'm like, what do you mean he's trapped? Like, he's trapped in between his torps? No.
That was just the bait.
Yeah,
that was just
that was the bait.
Sweden to come into close to that cliff and just flank him with twice the amount of unit. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot of stuff. I'm impressed that Noosh actually managed to get out. I didn't think he was going to be able to get out, but yeah, impressive stuff. Is that all the stuff from Mitoe? I feel like there was so much more. There's a couple units still sitting back at the moment. Just really, that is just such a big, like, massive stuff. Pike's now going to be dealing with the Minutemen as they come out. Explorer getting brought back as well. And just the Chukonu on the back line going to be dealing with the Corollians ever so slightly. 54 ranged attack in the tower, so 6 villagers garrisoned inside it. And we see a couple units on the back line just getting caught up with this single wall. It's so frustrating. Look at this, 9 pikes just sitting here, not being rallied in. They should have been on the way right now. They should have been sieging down all of these buildings here, but a little bit of a deficit here. The Chukonu going to be continuing to force back the Corollians and just really holding them back. And this is exactly what I was talking about. This is a difficult matchup, in my opinion, for the Swedish player. Despite, Mitoe not even going for the torps. Mitoe saying, you know what, you keep your torps, I don't care. You can be on 160 torp pop, that's fine. I'll still beat you. And that is impressive stuff. So doing his best to try and micro out these pikes. A total of how many pikes have we got here? Oh, a huge batch of Hussar coming through right now. So 23 pikes now for Mitoe, as well as 16 Chukonu. So still a pretty decent mass, but he's going to have to do his best to try and get rid of these Explorers, because this Explorer is just doing its best to snare through. Pikes managing to come back, and Noosh actually holding on. Noosh not only holding on, but repelling it and looking like he's getting into a pretty decent position.
Yeah, he killed most of the pikes. That's pretty...
How did that happen? How did it just swing from 80 units one way to 80 units the other way? What the hell just happened?
I feel like Mitoe just forgot like 10 pikes in the back around his forward base, and that might be why he was a little bit low on anti-cav.
It's absolutely crazy to me to think that, people are just so reliant on Sweden not making Hussars, and the moment they make Hussars, it just completely switches the game around. I reckon I'd probably win like 60% of my games. If I made Hussars, I reckon I'd win 70% of my games. They're just so good. Just look at that.
Yeah, I mean... people, tend to think that Hussar do not exist for Sweden, and they think it's not good because you cannot upgrade them, but like Hussars are not a bad unit at all.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, and now we see exactly why those Hussars are so damn strong. They're coming in, surrounding all the Chukonu that remain. Looks like the town center is going to be focusing down those pikemen, and the step riders running as fast as they can, trying to save the Chukonu from the damaging Hussars, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Corollians now on the back line as well. Going to be firing off, and both players managing to sort of shuffle it out. Take a look at Nush, and we see he's got those reinforcing batches coming in. Just the big Swedish economy doing its best. He's got another shipment ready. Probably going to be sending in those 8 pikes, and instead it's the team infantry hit points that he's going to be sending in. Actually cancels it and gets town militia instead. And just a few units remain right now for the Chinese player. But again, we see more hussars coming in. And 8 pikes
yeah, more hussars, but
is going to be the decision.
Yeah, it feels like Nush doesn't know what to send right now. He used his best shipments already, and yeah, I think the choice is either colonial militia here or sending units.
I guess now we sort of have to do a bit of a stock take of the economies, because we've got 17 torps for Nush, and you might think that that's a good position, but the truth is, 12 minutes into the game, those torps are starting to run out. So we've got these blueberries that are more than halfway gone. A lot of these torps down, especially these ones down to the south, like this one that just came up, it's going to be slowly eating these torps or these coin mines out. They're not going to last a long time. These torps have probably got another maybe 8 minutes on them, 9 minutes on them. And in that time, Nush needs to get to the 4th age. If Nush doesn't get to the 4th age, it's pretty much going to be GG. Because I tell you what, when it comes to this matchup, the way that Mitoe wins it is definitely this early pressure, but also this card right here, Repelling Volley. Chukonu and Arquebuses attack increased and do extra damage to light cavalry and heavy infantry. So they get that extra bonus. They get an extra 10% damage, as well as that all-important 3 times bonus against heavy infantry. So it is really going to be difficult for him to deal with in the 3rd age, if that's what his choice is, to remain in the 3rd age. So we now see that Mitoe has finally dropped down that consulate. Going to be picking up those food trickles as well. He's already picked up the wood trickle as well. So really just, you know, his economy is looking great. He's got 38 villages. Not to mention he's got the Summer Palace, which is also going to be providing the equivalent of, I think it's about 4 or 5 villages. And then he's got the trickles as well, which each I think work out to about 2.5 villages each. So, you know, he's doing pretty well on economy. I'd say close to 50 villages compared to Nush, who'd probably be on slightly more than him, because he's got 17 torps up right now. But we now see a fight beginning to break out. Pikes doing their best to try and fend off the hussars, and managing to do so. The hussars now breaking away. But
that's poor engagement from Knusch.
Knusch has definitely done a poor engagement, 100%. Pikes now entering into cover mode. You can tell by the way that they hold their pikes up above their head and they move slightly slower. Hopefully we can see them all move in a circle. Does he put them? He's pulled them out of cover mode right now. And yeah, definitely a poor engagement. But we now see Town Militia going to be coming in from the home city, so not opting to send that team heavy infantry hit points. Town Militia is going to be in 9 villages in the town center. Is that enough to one-shot a unit? I don't think it's enough. Is it enough? It's enough to one-shot a pikeman. Definitely going to be enough.
Yeah, you could focus. Yeah, sure, you could focus the pike here. I hope Mitoe realized that CM is in, because he could get cleaned up really hard right now. And yeah, like, checking if CM is in, like, versus Sweden, is not something you always do. But yeah, I hope Knuschel see him here, because he's got a lot of cleanup potential.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that CM pop. I'm just not seeing it, though. That's the thing. I'm sitting here. I'm like, call CM, call it any second, call it any second. He's not doing it. I don't know if he's going to need it, though, because there's enough Hussar here to really deal with it. 14 Hussar in total, 24 Caroleans going to be on the back line. It looks like it's going to be a cleanup in the favor of Knuschelbär.
Yeah, that's a massive cleanup. There's so many Hussars alive, and like, there's no more intent for Mitoe, and yeah, this is going to be cleanup.
It's a complete cleanup. It is an absolute complete cleanup. 14 Hussars now, compared to the 14 Caroleans in the back line. Is this GG? Is this GG? I feel like this could potentially be GG.
It's looking quite tough for Mitoe now. Yeah, he's definitely stuck in H2. He has to make a lot of units to save his forward base, and could see Sweden aging behind it. So yeah, we'll see. Mitoe will need a godlike trade and the cleanup to.
I'm just thinking, how does he even do it? Like, okay, let's say hypothetically he builds up a big mass of pike and archers, but even then, he's going to need like a really, really good trade to be able to do it. You know, as you mentioned, Sweden is going to be going up to the 3rd age, which is exactly what they're doing. Noosh is a very greedy player, probably going to be sending blackberries as soon as he's up to the next age. So his economy is going to be into overdrive, probably up into age 4 within less than 3 or 4 minutes. And this is more than enough army right here to sort of coast him into age 4. He can clear out this forward base and go straight to age 4. And I don't know what China can do against that, because this is just... Yeah,
it's also super hard to read it as China, because you just saw like 10 Karelians just reinforcing this army push, and you'd be like, okay, well, he's still making units and staying H2, but no, he's just going to the fortress age behind it, so... So yeah, both the war academies are going to get cleaned up, and yeah, just looking quite off for Mitoe.
We take a look back at Mitoe. We see that he is actually sending in the 600 coin now. So he's already sent through the 700 coin. Look how many of those cards he's sent through in H2. He sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those cards in H2. Hasn't sent that diplomatic intrigue or that Mongolian scourge just yet. But, you know, there's still plenty of time left in this game, I'm sure. He can send all of them in if he wants. And now spotting out a little bit of cavalry down to the south and just doing his best to fend it off. Trying to find an engagement. Trying to get off a little bit of an effective trade. Doing a bit of damage onto a Karelian. Gotta be careful. Takes out the first Hussar. And the Hussars look like they're just going to be able to walk away. Second Hussar almost going down as well. So
yeah, and now, like, Mitoe saw the fortress age from Knut, so I think he just cancelled these units and going to try to H himself, but it's going to take so long, and, like, if you look at around his base and on his side of the map, he's just completely out of food as well.
Yeah, he's got, like, a couple of herds up here to the north. So it looks like there's three carcasses, and then that's it. He's got like this in the middle. That's literally it. So I don't think it's even going to be enough to get him up to the third age. But dropping down a rice paddy, he's at the 17-minute mark, and he said, "Oh, I need a rice paddy." That feels bad.
Yeah, that feels really bad. Definitely not something you want to drop at this point in the game, but yeah, it just feels like he needs to. I like this wall though. Gonna create a choke point and perhaps get extra value with these Chocanoos and pikes.
Yeah, potentially looks for a pop with the village as well. So he's got enough resources to age up now. So he's going to be doing that, dropping down the Wonder, going up with the Confucian Academy. Do you think that's the right decision, going up with the Confucian Academy?
I feel like he just needs... You need to hold the potential Sweden staying H3. Yeah, I don't think Porcelain Tower would be good, because, like, there could be a game-deciding fight anytime soon, and like you don't want extra eco, you just want like extra units right now, and so I think Confucian Academy is just better. Yeah,
I think you're 100% right. It makes sense. It's going to be reinforcing his units, and then obviously when he gets up to the third age, probably going to be wanting to send in that repelling volley as quickly as he can. I mean, he's got a couple of other big unit shipments in there that he could be sending in, the Changdao as well as the Arc Boosters. Also got the Manchu in there, which definitely wouldn't go too bad. But let's take a look at the coin mines. Both of the coin mines in Mitoe's base have been untouched completely. He has not mined a single bit of coin yet. So completely on food, completely on wood. That's a little bit curious. Sweden would definitely like to get in that base and start mining that coin. And speaking of Sweden coming into the base, that's indeed what we see now. Karelians and Hussars moving towards the north of the base. And one of the curious things that we've spotted is that he's not actually looking to go to age 4. He's just sticking in age 3. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this. How do you feel about this? Do you think, is that the right choice?
I think it is, because Mitoe is still H2 right now, and like, yeah, you have like such a huge window to just like do damage and deny China from gathering any resources for like at least 2 minutes, and China, he has to upgrade both his Chocanoos and pikes when he ages up, so that's an extra 30 seconds as well, and I don't know, I feel like Knusch can just like do damage, stop training units at the same time, and just go H4 behind that, and it would be fine as well, but staying H3 is also okay, I think.
I love the way that Knusch is actually scouting this out, making sure that there's nothing down here hiding. There's a big hunt down here. I think this is actually 2 hunts. I think that's 1 hunt there and a second hunt right there. That's a lot of food, and just forcing him off it. Say, you know what? You want food? You keep making those rice patties. And we spot now the first coin mine has been finally mined out in the base of Knusch. Second one's just under 1,000 coin. Got a little bit of an attack down here towards the south. Looks like this veteran Hussar does go down. It's a huge battle about to break out now. Lovely choke point here for Mitoe. He's got those veteran upgrades. We can tell by the teal color. It's just so prominent on his Chokunu right now. And Pyke's just doing a great job of getting into cover mode. We can see him entering in that circle and a huge mass that he's managed to build up right now. So managed to close the score gap as well. Less than 3,000 points in between them. And Mitoe forcing Knusch back and Knusch deciding, you know what, I'm not going to deal with that right now. And I think that's the right decision. It might be a wise idea for him to pick up some artillery. I think wouldn't be a bad idea. But I guess the question is, where are you going to get it from? I mean, the 2 Falconets could be sent in. We actually see an artillery foundry getting dropped down right now. So definitely the right decision. I'm glad that my game sense is on point there. Do you think this is the right decision from him?
Yeah, I think it's good. I feel like he should also be pushing Mitoe's resources. He knows exactly where Mitoe is getting food right now, and he knows that Mitoe's army is just gonna push his base. So you could get some counterplay and push Mitoe's resources, or just go back home, and which is the second option and what he's doing right now. It's still called colonial militia as well, so.
Yeah, he does have that big batch, but yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. And I think whenever it comes to doing a base trade, you know, China's always going to be on the losing end. They don't have, you know, the opponent doesn't always have wonders in their base, whereas China does, that it needs to kind of retain and keep. But we now see the Hussars moving in on top of the Chukonu. Town center going down, a couple of villages inside it, going to be cleaned up without the colonial militia popping. Karolians on the back line, going to be doing their best just to clean up and focusing down these pikes. We see they are disciplined, they've got their upgrades in. Karolians not doing too poorly. We don't see any Falconets coming in from the artillery foundry that was built up. A shipment banked up. No point to actually send these in. And a whole bunch of pikemen still on the front line, just taking it down. 45 Karolians at this point. You might think that that's a lot, but when you consider that these Chokunu are fully upgraded, they're bloody strong, that they're actually managing to hold on. 36 Karolians now, slowly pushing them down. The Redcoats in on the front line, and Mitoe actually doing an impressive job of managing to not only hold, but actually push back the forces of Knuschelbär at this point. How did he do it? How did he do it?
Yeah, Chuvinus are great versus Musketeer type units, and they're also quite cheap. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it was not the greatest micro from Knuschelbär. It just wasted a lot of hussars. And yeah, as we were mentioning, like the lack of upgrades for hussars, like we cannot upgrade them to 3. So he's got the cavalry HP from the arsenal, but they don't do that well versus late H3 China units. So.
Yeah, I think the most concerning part for me right now, and this is something I mentioned earlier, is that we're at the 22-minute mark in the game. No coin mine here. No coin mine here. No coin mine here. No coin mine here. There's a single coin mine here with 540 and another coin mine here with 800 on it. That is it. That's all he's got. And he's going to be stuck in H3 for a long time because he never got to H4, he never got to send those factories in, you know, he never got the safety of H4, quote unquote, you know, he never really, he doesn't actually have 3 copper mines in his deck, he's got 4 copper mines in his deck, so perhaps it's a little bit of an oversight from him to stay in H3. I mean, he does always have that 1,000 coin, he's also mining coin in the center of the map as well, but I feel like at this point, Sweden's definitely in a difficult spot. It's downhill. Even though Sweden's up 3,000 points or 3,000 score at the moment, I still feel like Sweden is so far behind right now. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, you're right. It might be trouble, especially if he starts wasting Guardians like that. Manchu is going to come in for China, which is pretty good. But Knusch, though, he's just trying 2 Falks, and he can as well send 2, and you know that could be quite difficult for China to deal with.
What's the best way for him to deal with the Falconets? Do you think it's going to be just sending in the Meteor Hammers, or the Manchu are going to be sufficient?
Does he have hand mortars in there?
No, no hand mortars.
I guess he has to brute force with range infantry and a few cav batches, but
I hear brute force against 4 Falcons. That's always going to be hard though. 4 Falconets brute forcing that is just, you're asking for a bad trade.
And he didn't spot the 4 cannons just yet. So why would you make cav versus someone who's been making 90% carry in the entire game? So
perhaps he just knows it's coming. I mean, Sweden typically
next
makes
level game sense.
Yeah, he's had pretty good game sense so far this series, taking out 2 of the town centers in the first game that were aging up. Both of the times that he took out the town centers, they were aging up. We saw him just going for this town center again, but there was no age up in queue. Undoubtedly, he would have thought there would have been an age up in queue. I definitely thought there should have been an age up in queue. Now the Falconets look like they're going to be able to move into a position where they could potentially offload their volleys. Let's see if Mitoe spots it. Mitoe does indeed spot the Falconets. He sees that there's a pretty big mass of them in here. Wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a charge coming out here, just to potentially force this fight a little bit earlier. Falconets unpacking. A single shot getting back on the back line, but the Manchu now coming in from the south as well as a Flying Crow. Looks like it's going to be able to get into a pretty decent spot. Manchu getting repelled down towards the south. Flying Crow actually just goes down. Doesn't even get a shot off, unfortunately, just bursts into flames, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because they were so close to water, they could have put out the fire, and they just didn't do it. Now, Mitoe in a really difficult spot right now. He's kind of like, you know that meme? Like, let me in! Let me in! Hurry!
She's just not going for it.
That
was like a great opportunity for him to just clean up like 30 infantry units with his cannons. And
I don't know why he didn't. Why didn't he go for that? That's like a free win right there. That's so many units. He could have just picked up like 35 units for free.
Wow. He's still in a good spot. I feel. I still don't see how Mitoe kills these cannons just yet, but you know that could have been a great opportunity for Knusch to finish this game right now.
Well, we see a castle now going down in the back. So one of the questions I asked you earlier is, how's he going to deal with these Falconets? And I think he's made his mind up. It's going to have to be hand mortars, and unfortunately, without hand mortars in the deck means he's going to have to make them.
Yeah, for sure. Good thing is they are quite cheap, and Knusch is going to push these town center, which should buy Mitoe enough time to train hand mortars.
We spot Knusch. He's actually booming behind this, so dropping down a town center and now also a second town center as well in the middle of the map. So, you know, he's settling in for the long haul at this point. Scores are still relatively close though. Knusch is up about 1k score, so not too bad at all. And just defending his Falconets, getting a couple pot shots off on the ranged infantry, and very carefully moving them back, and just being so careful. But undoubtedly, he knows that there would be some potential for hand cannons to come in. So I guess as soon as I see hand cannons, I just sort of run away. You know, it's like there's nothing you can really do against them. I think they actually get one shot by Culverin, but now we see the blackberries going to be coming in for Knuschelbär. So has he sent blackberries yet? No, this is going to be the first time he sends blackberries in this game. So that's a little bit of a late blackberries for Knusch. 26-minute blackberries. That's he sent 9 Carolians before that. And now the hand mortars getting their shots off in a little bit of an awkward spot. Those hand mortars are. The charge coming out from the Carolians, and it looks like he's just moving down 9 Carolians on the western or the eastern flank, just to try and force back these hand mortars because they're all by themselves, taking out the first of the Falconets. Second one relatively close to dying as well, and looks like the Manchu are going to do their best to try and deal with it, but unfortunately it looks like all the hand mortars are going to go down. Do we have any more in queue for Mitoe? Mitoe has got 1 more in queue. He's actually got 5 more that have just popped out of this castle. Another batch that's popped out as well on the other side. Mitoe looking in a surprisingly good spot right now, actually. I think he's going to be able to clear that up. And the Flying Crow pops out as well. The Flying Crow gets a triple. Oh, baby, a triple.
Oh, baby, a triple.
Mitoe just in an impressive spot right now, cleaning everything up. Taking out all of the Carolians with his ranged infantry. What was the timing on that? How long? These things take like 5 minutes to spawn. That is so unlucky. They literally spawned and just was like, oh, cool, some Falconets for me. What the hell? That is, okay, look, there is luck and there is skill. And there's been a lot of skill in this series, but that was luck. That was all luck, and that was impressive luck. So, you know, well lucked by Mitoe on that one. I'll give it to him that time.
Yeah, just lucky.
That was impressive. That was really, really good.
The timing was really fortunate for Mitoe, because usually the Flying Crow just does nothing versus Falks in H3. They just die from 2 Falconet shots. So
Wow, I'm in awe of that. That was so good. Oh man. All right. How does Noosh come back into this? He's on 33 villages. He's on max taunt pot, but you know, it's not pretty. It's really not pretty. Like this at this point in the game, Sweden just feels like I'm completely drained. It's like, you know, when you at the end of the day, you've come home from a long day at work. You didn't get much sleep the night before, and now like you're getting text messages from your mum like, "Why didn't you pick up your sister from the airport? We talked about this." And that's like that's this point in the game for Sweden right now. You know, he hasn't picked up his sister from the airport. And speaking of sisters at the airport, it looks like he's about to get sent to the airport because the hand mortars are getting down on the ground, taking off some of the hussars. Hussars meeting the Chang pikemen, and Manchu on the back line going to be cleaning this up. Where's the ranged infantry though? There's only a little bit of ranged infantry for China, and a huge and all the Karolians. Just when you thought it was over, it looks like it swung back the other way, and Sweden said, "Not today, my friend. You thought you were able to pull out a victory? Not today." Manchu just doing their best. There's still quite a significant mass of Manchu that are left. There's still 8 Manchu that are out on the map, and managing to hold their own actually here, but looks like they're falling back. Now keep in mind, is there 2 TCs or just a single TC? I'm seeing a lot of villagers down here. It's just the 1 TC. He's got a little bit of food stocked up, so he said, you know what, I'm going to train 6 villagers so it doesn't look like my micro's that bad.
That's the trick. I just feel like Mitoe is gonna have an easier time remassing behind that because he's just training like Chuknu and Pikes, which is cheap, train fast, and way less costly than replacing Karlians at this point for Sweden. So
yeah, I've got to agree with you 100%. Yeah, a huge raid up here to the north. So I'm not sure exactly how many villages have gone down. We see the bodies laying on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5, 6. A 7th one going down just there. So losing 7 villages, going down from 55 villages down to 48. So a bit of a tough spot now for Mitoe, evening up the scores or the villager counts ever so slightly. 36 villages now for Noosh. And definitely a battle of the bulge, I would say. We've now got Knuschelbär sending in the 1,000 coins, so that's going to be enough to help him get up to the next stage. But one of the things I fear is that he's just going to be trying to train more units, and I don't really know if that's what he wants. So yeah, we see the Falconet going into queue, dropping in that 1,000 coin, probably going to be sending it to the... Oh no, where did he send it? Okay, send it back here. He's already got the mill up as well, so he's definitely... I mean...
Yeah, he has to make good use of this 1k coin. He's training cannons, which is the thing, yeah, he can do right now. And should be good versus Mitoe's composition, but... You know, he's got this artillery card in his tree, and he's got like a lot of food and wood stacked, so maybe he could like start training leather cannons and upgrade them for free with the card. I don't know.
Yeah, that could definitely work. Yeah, as you mentioned, he's got that card in the deck. Light gun carriages is there to be used. So yeah, that's definitely a great point. But one of the interesting things that Mitoe is doing is he's actually mining this coin mine. I think he's doing this almost preemptively. He's got this one in base with 1,900 coin on it, and he's like, "No, I want this one." And I'm sure you know exactly why he wants that. He wants that one because Noosh wants that one. Noosh isn't going to be able to top this coin mine, at least not for a long time. Now hear those mortars going off on the back line. Still got those 8 Manchu out. These Manchu have been out for so long, and they're huge. This is like the GUA Falk switch right here. The 4 Falks just coming out, and you know what do you do against that? You see that many Falks, you're like, all right, we're gonna have to pull back. We're gonna need more hand mortars.
Yeah. He's training some, so he just has to wait for 5 more, and then with 7, I feel like he's fine. Pushing in again. You can also slowly siege these siege with the hand mortars, and there's nothing Sweden can really do. He needs to like train coverings if he wants to deal with them in range. So.
You know, I'd really love to see out of Mitoe sending in this card here, Sega Herd. Each village and town center does a one-time muster of 4 Sagas. I mean, at this point, he's already got a fair amount of his infrastructure already built up. You can see he's got the 2 rice paddies down. But I feel like it would just be a really good card for him to send. He's got, at the moment, 5 villages out. He's got 1 TC, so it'd be a total of 24 Sagas. So 24 times 4, that's 9,600 food. That's a lot of food.
Yeah, that's a lot of food for sure. Yeah, it could be a good card, even though he's on paddy. It's still good to have extra hunts. And yeah, but like his army is just looking unkillable for Knusch at this point, and Yeah, Knushi's on what, like 40 views? 45 maybe?
Yeah, 41 villagers at the moment. He's got double TC though, so he's slowly getting there. It always feels so slow with Sweden, but yeah, I suspect this is going to be a very tough fight for Noosh just because of those hand mortars. He's going to need Culverin of his own to deal with that, and we actually see him popping a Culverin into Q right now. So that's exactly what he needs, but the issue that he's going to have is that this army... This is a big army, and it's going to be pushing in on this town center, going to be clearing this out before he can even get this Culverin out. And that's going to be the primary difference here, because this town center is going to go down, this Torp's going to go down, he's going to lose this outpost probably, maybe this trading post as well, unless he commits to this fight. But you can just see the hand mortars now beginning to fire off on the Falconets on the back line. You got to be careful of committing too early against this army, just because you need that Culverin to be able to take out these hand mortars. Otherwise, they're going to really deal with your Falconets. Falconets getting off some great volleys, though. We see 5 units going down just there. 3 +10s and a +7. A couple more volleys getting off, and it looks like the Flying Crow working its way around the tree line, trying to do just a little bit of a sneaky beaky right there. I think it might be a counter-terrorist. And Falconets still firing off, managing to get off a nice volley on the Falconets, though, with the hand mortars. A very tough game here, and a beautiful volley coming on. Great split there. We saw a double split by Noosh, so impressive micro from him. And managing to get off a couple more, and he's got to be careful not to lose these Falconets before the Culve gets down here. The 4 Falconets are still all alive. Relatively high HP on most of them. 69 HP on this one. Nice. Culverin now beginning to take some shots on the Flying Crows. How are you feeling about this game so far? It's been a tough one. 33 minutes. We're still slogging it out.
Yeah, you just need to do what he's doing right now, like slowly killing the Falconets with the hand mortars and just not waste any units to carry them, and then it's just gonna be fine. One covering is just not enough to get with all these hand mortars. And at the back of it, like Sweden is totally out of coins, so it's basically like Dutch without banks right now. 44 views and just no point income.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And you know, Mitoe's managed to make it to this point in the game, and this is essentially it, because Sweden's stuck in H3 and there's no factories, there's no coin, there's no nothing for him. So a very difficult spot. Now beginning to burn through those Corollians. They've got the 3 times bonus against the Corollians, all the ranged infantry. The hand mortars are focusing, more reinforcing hand mortars now coming in, focusing down those Falconets. Manchu on the back line as well, just looking to focus down that Corollian and Noosh calls good game.
Yeah, that is 2G. The Chinese is gonna clean that fight. Wow, what a throw from Knusch.
Oh,
like so far ahead.
How are we going to see Sweden next game as well? That is 2 Sweden losses in a row. Well, not in a row, but in this series so far for Noosh.
I mean, that's the magic with this tournament. It's like you play Sweden, and it doesn't matter if you lose with Sweden. You just play Sweden.
You
again,
keep playing it until you win.
At some point, you're just gonna win. Yeah.
I think because someone posted the stats on the ESOC forums and they're like, "Oh, Sweden's win percent's like, what was it, 51% or something?" And people in the comments were just like, "It's because people just pick Sweden and they just keep picking it until they win."
Yeah. Honestly, seeing this game, I don't know if it's more of like, did Knusch throw super hard, or did Mitoe just like manage to like impressively handle this situation while being super far behind? I think it's a bit of both.
I think it's definitely a bit of both. Mitoe definitely handled the situation very well. Impressive early game play from him, but at the same time, you know, Noosh didn't go age 4 when he had a very clear window. You know, when he was pushing up, burning down that forward base, he sieged down the village as well as the 2 war academies. He very easily could have gone age 4 behind that, and he didn't.
I can't blame him for staying H3 because he was so far ahead. I think this was definitely like easily winnable in H3, but he just didn't manage to. So,
all right, I'm going to be loading up game number 4 for us. So that's going to be on the map. I think it's Colorado. Is that correct? Is that the way that you remember it?
God, I have no idea, honestly.
All right, we'll have a look. All right, there it is. All right, 4th map. Let's have a look. I'm going to pause the game. All right, now the GG that you see right here over on the left of the screen is because of the last game. It's an artifact from the last game. Don't think that is a spoiler, because it's not.
Oh, Spanish mirror.
How do you feel about that? Spanish mirror.
On this map, I don't think logistician is the way, but we could be surprised. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Well, give me a moment. I'm just going to head downstairs. I'm going to grab a quick Red Bull, and then we're going to get right into it. I'll be 63 seconds. You count them out for me, Lacastet. I'll be right back.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, I'm joking. How you guys doing in the chat? But I'm saying, well, hi, you are very smart indeed. Have to agree with that. Can I even count that high? Nah, I was just messing around. I can't go further than 10. Update the results? Yeah, alright, I'll tell Drongo to update the results. Why is Spain so popular on this map? It's a good first pick. Like, Spain is really good on this patch. And I don't know, Spanish mirror is just, yeah, I can't count past 2%. Three seconds are over. Thanks for the precision. I'm just gonna believe you.
All right. Did I do it?
I didn't count, but somebody in the chat said that 63 seconds are over, so you lost.
Did I really lose? I'm kind of in the future, so are the 63 seconds really over? Maybe, maybe not.
I mean, if you mention it like that, then you're probably right.
Yes, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. All right, let's get into it. Cardloff saying you needed 70 seconds. Damn it. Just have to walk a little bit faster next time. 10% faster will get me there next time.
Unlucky.
All right, let's get into it. I'm going to just fix up my sensitivity, then we'll dive on in. All right. G'day, fellas. Welcome to a game between Mitoe, who is spawning in the west of the map, playing the Spanish, and his opponent, Knuschelbär, who is playing the Spanish as well. Now, this game is part of the series, the Global Championship. It's a $5,000 tournament, and this is the 4th game. First game went over to Mitoe, second game to Knuschelbär, third game back over to Mitoe, and now we're in the 4th game. So, it's a Spanish mirror. It's on Colorado. How do you feel about this map? How do you feel about this matchup, Lacastet? Tell me.
I mean, this should be an even matchup, obviously, since it's a mirror.
I don't know. There are some mirrors that aren't even. One of the, I mean, obviously, right. Like British mirror.
British mirror.
Yeah.
It's just RNG based and just luck, of course. We all know that. But yeah, both players going for training post start, and it looks like Mitoe is chopping per house, so not gonna be some 12-10 shenanigans. Knusch, on the other hand, he's chopping wood as well, so probably gonna do the same thing.
Do you think there's gonna be logisticians in this game?
I highly doubt it, but we could get surprised.
One of the things I've been seeing a little bit is this sort of like age 2 logistician, or I say age 2 logistician, but it's like an economic logistician play. So basically, players, instead of going 12-10, like we're seeing right... Oh, I say that, but this is a 90 wood treasure that he's picking up. So probably going to be going a little bit idle here. Just dropping down that house now. It's like this... I think it's like a 15 or 16 villager age up. You drop a market in transition, and you pick up, like, economic theory. You pick up all those good early game cards like Furia, as well as capitalism. You get an insane eco, and you just sort of make musketeers or rodoleros or crossbows or whatever it is that you need to make. But essentially, it gets pretty crazy, and then you ship, like, you can ship 5 vills, 4 vills, and really get a pretty crazy economy. I'm curious if we're going to see either of the players going for that, or whether they're going to look to play a little bit more traditionally. We see that both players have opened with their 3 villager shipments. Let's take a look at Mitoe's deck. So Mitoe's deck is called 1v1. Pretty standard. It's got Colonial Militia in the deck, as well as Unction, and a couple of upgrades in Age 2. In Age 3, there's no 1,000 wood, There's no 1,000 food in there either. 9 and 8 Rodoleros and 5 and 4 Lancers. Spanish Gold, of course, is in the deck, as well as 2 heavy cannons. How do you feel about the deck? Pretty standard?
Yeah, it's kind of how like old school Spain Mirror used to be played. You would have like stuff like 12 bikes, just no 1k wood, no Spanish gold, and have like 5 SLs instead. And it was like some kind of FV war, and just both sending units and trying to like get the best, the best pop. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
it does look very old school. Noosh actually picking up a 90 food treasure. We'll go right on board with him and see exactly how he's doing. He's going with a 15 villager age up, so Mitoe's doing the exact same thing. But Mitoe still managing to be ahead on food ever so slightly, despite not picking up that food treasure. We'll take a look and see exactly what Knuschelbär's deck is called. It's actually called Try, and I recognize this deck. This deck is the same deck that Knuschelbär used against Kaiser Klein in the very first table topper. It was Knuschelbär versus Kaiser Klein, game number 9 on Mexico, and the deck's name was Try, and it was the exact same deck. And the worst part was that Knuschelbär had like kind of forgotten that he had gone for a fast industrial deck, and he didn't fast industrial. He had like this window to do it as well. It was terrible, and I'm not sure if you remember that game, Lacastep, but that was a hell of a game.
Yeah, I do. He could still go for like Fortress play and just play it like that, because he's got all the cards he needs in Fortress as well. So
yeah, he's got that 1,000 food, that 1,000 wood, as well as the archaic infantry combat. I don't actually think we saw that out of Mitoe. No, I take that back. We did actually see that. He's got the 12 pikes in there as well, but obviously no resource cards in there. Big Spanish Gold in there, 5 and 4 Lancers, 8 and 9 Rodoleros, and then just, yeah, no real upgrades in Age 3. So we saw that with Mitoe, he had the double cavalry upgrades as well as a single infantry upgrade, but it's not the case with Noosh. I'd be curious to see how this game actually plays out. I tell you what, I really do like the Spanish Fast Industrial. It kind of sucks that it got nerfed. I feel like it was a great addition to the game, a great addition to Spain as well, but I guess Spain have got a lot going for them at the moment. They probably don't need any more with the way things are at the moment.
Have so many options.
Yeah, they really do.
Spanish Gold, TCA job, stuff like that.
It's crazy. They're basically like India, but on steroids. They've just got so much that they can do now. It's ridiculous. Like, I remember playing a guy, he did like 3 TP ATP into Stagecoach, or 3 TP Stagecoach into the TC age up, like from a logistician, water boom. It was like there's just so much going on with it. It's like they could do like 6 things at once and still at the same time double racks. It's like, how do they do it? How do they do it? Outpost now heading up towards the north. 700 coin followed by 700 wood for Mitoe. So going to be placing that outpost. Where do you think he's going to go for the outpost? Probably somewhere relatively
Mitoe, you cheesy player. He's just going to try to hide it on the top, I guess.
You reckon that's cheesy? That ain't cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy. We'll say that much. I'll take a look at Noosh and see what he's doing. Noosh just going for a standard. Just a nice casual halfway. About 40% of the way towards your opponent. I mean, that's the middle of the map right there. So, yeah, not too bad from him. But we'll see whether it gets picked up by Noosh that Mitoe's done something a little bit sneaky. No scouting of either player by each other either, so no one really knows who's doing what. They could probably suspect that Logistician is not going to be up for grabs today, obviously, when they inspect each other's decks. We now see Hunting Dogs coming in as well. And 5 villagers. So the first difference in the build orders, so 5 villagers going to be coming out for Noosh instead of that 700 wood that we see coming out for Mitoe. How do you feel about that variation? Agree with it? Disagree with it? Like it? Don't like it?
I think it's quite similar. You're just going to get like a bit of extra resources from having these 5 villages earlier.
Yeah. I kind of like it. I feel like the 700 wood is going to arrive in time. I mean, you're going to delay your barracks by, what, 40 seconds? So you're going to have maybe 1 batch less units, but you're going to have more resources at the end of the day. Ever so slightly, but, I mean, you're going to be taking worse trades for probably the first minute. Yeah, I guess it's much of a muchness, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the biggest variation.
All right, we now see he's got the 700 wood coming in behind that. Age up at about 5 minutes and 56 seconds, about to come through now as well. And going to be able to pick up this shield of El Polo Guapo. So I'm not sure if you know this, Lacaste, but El Polo Guapo was actually my great-great-grandfather.
Was he?
Yep. A Portuguese explorer came to Australia from around the Cape of the Cape York, I think it's called, and yeah. So yeah, it's a true story. Happened to a friend of mine. We'll take a look back at. So, I don't know why. I don't know why I told you that. It was a very personal, intimate detail. But here we go. We're good friends now. Barracks going down in the middle of the map. Oh gosh. A couple of war dogs out as well. Going to be doing a little bit of harassing, but you can see that Mitoe's just really doing his best just to usher them back and say, hey, no war dogs over this side of the map. You keep them back over with your outpost. Outpost to the north. So I think he's just primarily done this. Obviously, he's hidden this outpost, but he's very cognizant of the fact that Noosh might try and cheese it with an early 8 pikes. I know that Purashiki is somewhat infamous for going... I think he goes 700 coin into 8 pikes in the Spanish mirrors, and just tries to get that early siege on the outpost. So going up with the Sergeant of Arms, going to be providing that. Sergeant of Arms is the 8 pike age up, is that correct?
God, I'm not too sure.
You're not too sure, but you don't.
Yeah.
You want to know what I'm sure about? I'm sure about Noosh being greedy, and he's going up with the Bishop to age number 3. So that's going to be getting him a town center, whereas his opponent's going to be getting 8 pikes. So definitely going to have the tempo advantage over in Mitoe's field. Also gathering up a lot of food right now. So this kind of looks like it's it might be a fast industrial. It might be a fast industrial.
Yeah, it's looking like... I'm not sure. He's training musketeers as well at the same time, so... There are the 8 pikes shipping from Mitoe. Gonna just knock it down, and if Knusch paid attention, then now he must know that Mitoe's tower is somewhere on the edge of the map.
These pikes definitely didn't walk that far. He would have picked it up. He's got the native scout here. I think he was probably looking for it. Probably a little bit confused and probably just realized that the proxy was there now. But sending in Spanish gold as well. It's going to be a bit slow to age up. I feel like you might even want to go like a fort before you do this. Like, because the 2 Falcons are going to roll in. I mean, he doesn't even have colonial militia at this point. So he's going Spanish gold into 1,000. I feel like this is just going to die. Like, doesn't this just die to 2 Falcons?
This is so greedy, but yeah, we'll see if Mitoe identifies what's going on. TCA job plus Spanish gold plus 1,000 wood and just train skirmishers meanwhile. But Mitoe's going Spanish gold 2 Falcons, which could be a proper counter.
Oh, this should be okay. All right, Spanish gold 2 Falcons. I'm happy with this as long as he puts up some walls. I just want to see like a little bit of walls out from him, like just 10 wood here, 10 wood up there. Maybe like 10 wood up here, just to protect from any potential, like, 5 lancers coming in. I'd also like to see...
he definitely needs to do something about...
Maybe CM. Threat, what do you feel about CM? You got the double TC, why not?
Yeah, I mean, that would be at least one of the cannons for sure. So...
Pike's now coming in as well.
Card, but going 2 cannons yourself is also good.
19 pikes now for Mitoe. Mitoe definitely playing this game a little bit more serious than Noosh. Noosh is saying, you know what, I can go double TC and fast industrial and send 2 Falcons, or send Spanish gold first. And Mitoe's like, well, I'm just going to send unit shipments and we'll see what happens.
Minutemen. Yeah, I mean, this looks like counterplay from Mitoe for sure. Going heavy on siege and cannons, but Minutemen going to pop it. Noosh cannons getting some good value on the future as well.
Cannon's getting off and putting a couple pikemen into cover mode. Mitoe probably not realizing that cover mode doesn't actually work against falconets, and a couple of those pikemen just laying on the ground next to the dead Minutemen, saying, "Well, they got you too, I see." Minutemen still in melee, just trying to do their best to snare. I think they actually do get a snare off on one of these pikes. Yeah, 3.25 movement speed. Lancers now coming in around. 5 Lancers also coming out for Noosh at the exact same time. But the only difficult thing that he's going to have is that there's pikemen down here. Whole bunch of... Look at all of these fighting dogs on the back. The 2 Falconets going to be going down to the Lancers. A couple of Musketeers on the back here as well. But Don Gatto is in amongst it. Don Gatto, get him, Don Gatto. Donati. It's his cousin down here with Nacho. And these guys are going to be breaking relatively even. So at this point, I mean, Knusch's already shipped Spanish gold, so Knusch's ahead 100%. And Knusch's cleaning this up. So this is looking pretty damn good for Knusch at this point. And you can see the score beginning to break ahead. Up about 1.5k score at this point. So a great timing for Knusch. Impressive stuff. What a cleanup.
Yeah, really well handled. I think he got like so much value from these two cannons in Rich DC and like picking up some skirmishers and some pikemen before the lancers came out on the field. And from here, Knusch should be able to win this game due to superior eco and sailing.
Well, and that's exactly it, isn't it? Like from here, all he needs to do is send unit shipments and he wins the game because he's got Spanish gold, so he's already up on that. And like realistically, just don't take any bad trades. Just as long as you take at least even trades and continue sending units from the home city, you should win the game. But he goes 1,000 wood.
Doesn't need to push.
Yeah, I mean, and he's got that double TC as well. We talked about that. He's actually healed it up, so it's on full HP now. Doesn't particularly have a lot of natural resources here. So, I mean, if we go and have a look exactly what natural resources there are on the map, there's not a lot when it comes to hunts. There's a couple of hunts out here to the north, a couple of hunts down to the south, but yeah, not really a lot in the way of huntables.
Yeah, for sure. So that might be why he's pushing super hard after the cleanup. But going really behind that, so he's gonna get away with both sieging the Mitoe forward base and going really behind.
Preparada.
And now he's gonna probably aim for this tower and start securing his next hunt on the top of the map. And yeah, looking quite good for Knusch here.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him drop a third town center. He is sending in that 1,000 coin, or the 1,000 wood rather. So I really wouldn't be surprised if this explorer just walks over here and just drops a town center down right here in between these two hunts and secures that for the next, what, 5 minutes or so? That'd be classic Knusch style.
Yeah, full greed.
Dropping down a house now outside this coin mine, so going to be securing that one up as well. So this coin mine down to 182. He's got another coin mine down towards the south and another coin mine down towards the south that he's dropping a house on. So tactically just dropping these and moving his native scout ever so slightly just to try and keep track, and now securing up this northern area, up about 3k score now. The villager gap continuing to wide, 6 villages different, as well as Spanish gold as well, that Mitoe doesn't have in, whereas Knusch has got Spanish gold. So a significant burgeoning of the economies at this point. But as I mentioned earlier, the only thing that Knusch needs to do is send military units, and he's going to win the game. The issue is that if Mitoe sends only military units, well, Knusch is going to be in trouble because he's not going to have enough to keep up with him. Because at the moment, the economies aren't scaling just that much. But now we see the battle beginning. A couple of lancers moving in, definitely outweighing the amount that he's got. Mitoe has. Main concern is that he's fighting under town centers right here. We see 81 damage coming out of those town centers. Lancers fighting on against the enemy lancers, and Mitoe doing a great job just pulling his own lancers back. Skirmishers looking like they're slowly picking off the Rodoleros. Now these Rodoleros are veteran Rodoleros, so they're going to take a little bit longer than normal to kill. Huge amount of lancers actually poking down the rods, but there's a fair bit of skirmishers here on the back line, more reinforcing lancers, and it looks like Knuschelbär is going to clean this one up and probably going to walk away from this game with a big victory under his belt. Mitoe calls the GG, and we move on to game number 5 in the series. Congratulations to Knusch for winning the game. Let me update that scoreboard for you guys. Nice and quick on that one.
What a close series.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, pretty impressive hold from Knusch. I believe that Mitoe was going for a solid counter to that Spanish greed from Knusch, but yeah, Knusch took like insane value from his cannons and a better fight with these 5 lancers and also the dogs. The dogs did like a ton of work during all of the fights for Knusch. So
yeah, you're not wrong. I didn't expect double Spain on that map. I really didn't. I thought it was going to be Japan coming out from Mitoe. So yeah, I guess on Colorado, actually, it would have been Knusch's pick of the matchup. So I guess it makes sense for that. So we now head into the next game. Let me pull that one up. So we've got, I think it's game number 5. It is indeed game number 5.
Yeah, it is. Score's currently 2-2.
All right, let me drag that one in here. All right, game number 5. Let's go.
So Knusch has to pick first, and Mitoe will get the con pick.
All right,
Let's see what both players go for.
let's get straight into it. What do you say?
USA.
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
America, baby.
G'day, fellas. Welcome to a casted game between Mitoe, who's spawning in the south of the map, playing as the Spanish, and his opponent, Knuschelbär, spawning in the north of the map, playing the US of A, baby. It's great to see. We're on the map, Central Plains. How do you feel about this map? How do you feel about this matchup, Lacaste? Tell me what you're thinking.
I feel like this should be Spanish favored. But we'll see what Knusch plans, because like first picking USA on this map, not too sure about that. So
I feel
we'll
like
see how it goes.
I like
I've
USA
never
on
seen
this map.
matchup being played, but I'm like in my mind, I just feel like Spain should just win.
See,
Scum Lancers.
that's what you would expect, right? But the way I think about it is this, okay? So the reason why USA is going to be really good on this map, so Spain wants to take 5 ATP Stagecoach. They always want to do that. But the problem is they can't, because the United States is going to deny them 3 trading posts before... I'm trying to remember exactly what the timing is, but I think it's about 2 minutes. At the 2-minute mark, the United States will have 3 trading posts. And so Spain can't ATP. I mean, they can send ATP, but they're not going to get the trading posts that they need for it. So they're kind of stuck making, you know, there's a bit of a decision process. Like, what do they do? Do they go for, you know, an Age 2 play and try and take control of the trading posts? Because if they don't do that, then they're just going to lose their trading posts to the United States in Age 2. But then I guess, you know, then the shoe gets put back on the other foot, and then the USA needs to work out what are they going to do, because, as you mentioned, that timing push is going to come in potentially and deal with them as well. We'll take a look at their decks. 1v1 ATP is the deck that Mitoe's gone with here. So got the ATP in Age 1, as well as the Economic Theory. Fair few resource shipment crates here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay and fight Age 2 like a man. Like a man. Like a man who has cojones.
Indeed, yeah. We'll see what he decides to do. I'm more curious about USA. I want to know Knusch's plan for this game. As you were mentioning, that there's a B where you can steal the TPs, but
doesn't look like he's actually gone for it. Yeah, he's gone for the French immigrants instead. So playing a little bit more traditionally. So not something I expected out of Knusch, especially on this map. On this map in particular, I feel like the United States is very strong just because of that Chinese build order that they can do. But Knusch saying, you know what, we're going to stick it with the old school build order. Going with the French immigrants, the Dutch immigrants, the Irish immigrants. No other immigrants in the deck, though. He does have the fort in Age 3, as well as those advanced frontier defenses. Got the 2 heavy cannons in there as well.
Cards for Marines as well. So maybe we could see that from...
I wouldn't be surprised to see some United States Marines, yeah. That would definitely be very, very nice. But you know what's even nicer than that? Kermond.
Lufthansa subbing.
Lufthansa, that is also quite nice as well, yes.
Yeah, that is also quite nice,
yes.
Sure.
But the real hero of the day is Kermond. Look at the way he moves. Look at that. Like, he's a thick boy, isn't he? He's just... I like how he's got that little leash on him as well. You just know he's call me daddy. Call me daddy.
That booty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Kermond.
What you gonna do, huh?
Kermond is probably my favorite. Like, obviously, Jerome is, like, the number one, like, the GOAT. But, like, other than Jerome, it's got to be Kermond. And I love their names. Like, where do they get these names from?
I don't know.
Kermit. Look at the way he arches his back when he gets into it.
Might be interjection on the drunk night, you know, like, we're going to call this one play day.
I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Well, we see that he's now aging up. Knuschelbär is with Virginia. So no surprise there. Virginia... Look, when the United States came out, I remember people sort of said, oh, you know, it could, you know, the United States, there's all these options that you've got to age up with. But the truth is, there's only really Virginia. That is pretty much it. Like, people were trying, like, Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. I can't remember exactly which one it is. But it's just nowhere near as good as Virginia. Virginia is just the GOAT at the moment. But we saw a nice little toxic pull trick in there. Gaspar de Aguirre. I'm not sure. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Getting pull tricked by Reynosa. managing to live another day with 40 HP, but he's on the wrong side of the map right now. And I suspect that Knuschelbär is probably going to be just locking down these trading posts. He knows that he's in the area. You can see Kerman's out here hunting. He actually spots, if he is careful, he will see where the Explorer is, and he's going to continue tracking him up towards the north, try and lock him in there. I wonder if Mitoe's going to work his way back around. Let's have a look and see what happens. I think he's going to be going down here 100%. What do you reckon? Oh.
Yeah, and that's big. I mean, Mitoe is not going for advanced trading post. Fortunately for him, because like his hero would just die. But yeah, quite a win for Knusch, I'd say.
You say that, but...
oh, actually, no, never mind. He's going for ATP.
Indeed.
Just, building it with villages.
Yeah, so it always feels a little bit bad when you got to build it with villages, but, I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures, don't they? And when your Explorer's got 29 HP, you've only got really one choice. So we now see 2 War Dogs getting trained up as well. So another trading post to the north as well, going to be taken by a villager. So doing his best to try and claim as many trading posts as he can on the map. Knusch actually going to be taking a trading post down towards the south of the map, and at the same time going to be looking for that fast fortress, dropping down the barracks in base. 700 coin going to be on the way. There it is, 700 coin now coming in. Probably going to be sending in Virginia General Assembly after that, but we'll keep an eye out for it. See exactly what happens. No villagers in queue at the moment because he's called Minutemen to the middle of the map, and the Minutemen are beginning to lay waste to the Settler. But Settler managing to make it out alive. But take a look at that. The advanced trading post, shy about 1,000 HP.
Denied. Yeah.
66 HP. Well, 66% HP is what it's on. That trading post to the north. Knusch obviously aware of it and in heading up there with his Minutemen that remain, seeing if he can try and catch it. But probably not going to be able to get it. We've got Gaspar Diaguirre, who's going to be taking this trading post. And I just heard something cancelled right there. Oh, it was the trading post, or the outpost rather. Fourth trading post now going up. Going to be confirming it with this settler that's coming out of the base. And oh my god, look at this build order. I think this must be standard, right? This has got to be standard with ATP. 5 villages into 700 coin, 700 wood. I've not seen this before, so I can only assume that's the right thing.
Yeah, it's a slight mistake from Mitoe. You need to queue more villages before you send 5 VS, because otherwise these happen. You're just gonna be popped and you cannot train villagers, so he's just gonna like skip 3 VS basically before he can age up.
Yeah, it definitely hurts a lot, doesn't it? Because, I mean, you could have been 25 vills, but you're on 23 now instead. Looks like this TP...
the Minutemen will just like kill 4 dogs.
And an Explorer. So, a lot of value coming out of those Minutemen, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, both players making a little bit of error. Mitoe just putting a few villagers into queue just then. Just a couple, just, you know, just in case. Just I think that's what happens when you press your hotkey a little bit too many times. But now we check back in with Knuschelbär. We see he's got Virginia General Assembly on the way. Probably going to have 700 wood coming in after this. We'll take a look and see exactly how that goes. But continuing to rotate those Minutemen up to the top. I do like his build order, the way that he's managed to sneak in this trading post as well. So it's pretty tight. I'll say that much. But now continuing to move up towards the north. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for some sort of Marine build here. You did mention earlier that he did have the United States Marine card, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that. Going up with New Hampshire. New Hampshire is the factory wagon and the 2 French cannons. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but they're what is it? What's that part of Canada where they speak French? Quebec, is that
Quebec?
it? Yeah, I think there's something to do with Quebec. I can't remember exactly. I just remember there was like they're French, some sort of French guns or something like that.
Napoleon guns, he's saying Harrison.
Oh yes, that's it. Napoleon guns. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, the I can't remember exactly. I don't know what the card's called. We'll have to check it out when it comes in. I can't remember. I think it's I'm having a look at the chat. French Canadians. I think that might be it. French Canadians is what the card is actually called.
French Canadians.
Okay. Mitoe now going up with the scout though. No French going to be spoken over on his side of the world. That's for sure. Market going up now with that 700 wood.
So you were mentioning this Marine build, and I feel like this could be a really good counter to this ATP stagecoach play, because yeah, you know, like Marines, they have a ton of siege and they can like make really quick work of these trading posts, and you know, if Knusch can steal a few, then you might be in a good spot.
Yeah. And it's important that he sort of gets on it really quickly. As we can see now, the trade cart is on the way. So there's going to be 4 trading posts that are going to be stagecoached. So basically like 16 villages is what it works out to be. So a huge amount of villages. Stable now going up as well for Mitoe. So curious to see exactly what he's going to be looking to go with. So when he's aging up, he is going up with the scout. So are we going to see dragoons out of him? Probably not. Are we going to see lancers? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised to see lancers getting trained. That hunting dogs coming out now, as well as steel traps going to be out, and Fortress Age has been reached for Knuschelbär. Let's check in with him and see exactly what we've got, and we do indeed have that all-important card coming in. It's the United States Marines, baby, coming in right now. He's going to be following that up undoubtedly with Culpeper Minuteman, and we do indeed see the name of that card is the French Canadians. So yes, the 2 Napoleon guns is exactly what it is. So first town center now going up. Second town center. Go on.
Yeah, I just got banned by Harrison. Like, really?
You just got banned. Someone ban this man, please. And then you got banned. Yep. Oh, that's a permanent ban.
Wow.
Whoa.
No, that's temporary. But I'll remember that person. No need to unban me. Just just keep me banned. Yeah, you know, it's all right, mate.
It's better that way.
How am I gonna strike hard when England is gonna lose tonight, and then you'll be like, if only I didn't ban casted, then you know, like England no one.
A little bit of a mistake coming in right now. Culpeper Minuteman getting called before the 3rd town center coming up, so he's missed out on 6 Marines here. He didn't need to call them this early, and he's not really going to get anything from it because he's going to be able to repel the Hussars, but they're not going to do a lot because he's missed out on 6. That's a lot of, like, you basically just lost 6 veteran muskets for nothing. It's, I mean,
that's quite big, and he's also, like, trying to chase these 4 Hussars that he won't be able to catch, and, you know, he could be sitting these trading posts already, but he's just not doing it.
There could be 3 trading posts that are going down right now, and instead, he's just running around in circles. We now see the factory going to be coming in behind it. Who do you think's in a better position at this point?
I thought the point of, like, Knuschelbär was to just, like, deny all these training posts as soon as possible and, like, be in a good spot. But as he didn't do that just yet, I feel like Mitoe could be in a reasonable position. Wonder what his follow-up to his fast fortress was. Did he go Spanish gold?
Yeah, so he's open with Spanish gold and then going into the 1,000 wood, and then following that up with the 5 lancers.
He's training lancers, shipping lancers.
Yeah, double lancers as well. It's full lancers from here, and this is one of the difficult things. Yeah, this is one of the difficult things as the United States. You don't really have a lot to deal with cavalry. The best you've got is, I mean, Chapka Uhlans are probably the best thing that you've got. And if your opponent's making lancers and dragoons, well, you don't really have an answer to that because you can make carbine cavalry, but to be honest, Lacaste, they're just terrible. There's not even dragoons in the deck here for Knuschelbär either. So
they're not the greatest unit, and like behind that, I mean, Knux is on 3 TC, and he's got like 23 wheels to supply both units production and wheels, and he just cannot afford both to do so.
Well, keep in mind, he's got 11 villages coming out of his factory as well, because that's on wood right now.
True.
So he does have that going for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to see how that goes, because like if Mitoe keeps like massing all these lancers and just hiding them, and then when Knusch is gonna try to push these middle TPs, just catch him completely off guard. This is gonna be so good for Spain.
Cav combat coming in as well. So just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Cav combat coming in is just gonna make it a bit difficult for him. And you can see Mitoe just being so cheeky as well. Just sending 5 lancers over like, oh yep, these are all the lancers I've got. Like, oh yep, you better be watching out. Yeah. You know, you don't like he specifically knew the trade cart would see it.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, I just walked under your town center with 5 lancers. Oh, I'm so stupid.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, yo, I'm just doing my own thing. You keep making infantry over there, buddy. Like, oh, gosh. All right, well, hand cavalry combat has arrived now. Mitoe's in a great spot. He's also getting cavalry cuirass. So look at the size of this army. He's got 25 lancers. I love this. I love this so much.
Cavalry.
This is
Just
just...
HP from the Arsenal as well. This is just gonna be a massive deal.
Oh, alright.
It might be time to go for
Get your popcorn out, guys. Here it comes. Oh, Lord. Yeah, let's see it. Taunt 31. Mitoe going in right now. He's got
right,
more
GG.
lances than his opponent's got infantry at this point. He's Noosh is training a calf. Oh, Noosh.
Making my way downtown.
All right, well, look, it's been a quick 5th game. We'll say that much.
Yep.
What do you do against that many lancers when you've just got marines? Not much, I guess, is the appropriate response. Well.
Yeah, big cleanup for Mitoe, and then probably can just go like for siege options behind that, and yeah, just idle the entire USA economy and start sieging the town centers with cannons or something, and even tough bikes.
Yeah, I mean, at this
Just
point,
call it a day.
there's 27 lancers. How do you even deal with that? Like, there's literally nothing the United States can do against that other than the Dragoons. And he doesn't have them in deck, so it's like, what do you do? Like, he's making veteran regulars at the moment. What a...
Ulans would do good, but yeah.
But even Ulans are just going to get eaten up completely by the Lancers. Like, obviously they're going to have more HP, but they're going to outnumber them significantly. Or rather, more attack. But, like, even with the regulars here, so he's got out 13 regulars at the moment. He's just called some more Minutemen. And keep in mind, these guys do have the infantry tag, so they do get countered by those Lancers quite easily. But, yeah, Falconet's now coming in, going to be laying waste to the state capital. Factory going to be going down on the back line. 11 villagers killed right there. Or the equivalent of 11 villagers.
Yeah, and Mitoe's even having skirmishers behind that as well, so...
Yeah, a batch of 10 skirms coming in now. Looks like a Falconet is almost going to go down here. But it doesn't. 31 HP. And the Lance is beginning to move in right on top of those veteran regulars. And the villagers doing their best to try and get a little bit of blocking in. But yeah, to what end is the real question. I think it's more just Knuschelbär not wanting to give in just yet. Just sort of saying, you know, I want to try my best. And I respect that about him. I respect that. But,
yeah. No matter how hard he tries right now, like, he's completely caught off guard by his instant mass, and it's just no coming back from here.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Good game getting called by Noosh. And congratulations going over to Mitoe. That's 3-2 now in the series.
Well, that was a fun and quick game, and like solid counter build from Mitoe.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. And I think it really just goes back to, you know, Mitoe sort of knowing the USA inside and out, knowing that their weakness is definitely cavalry and especially lancers. Lancers are very, very strong against the United States. And yeah, like we just see the economy difference there. Mitoe just pulling ahead by a mile. 18k at the end versus 13k. So we jump into the next game.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly grab a drink.
All right, we're on to game number 6. All right, fellas, just give me a second. Just pulling this one up. All right, game number 6 is in and ready to go. Keep in mind, this was from the last game. It's not from this game. GG out. That's Mitoe saying from the last game.
All right.
All right, you ready to go?
I'm damn ready. 3-2,
right.
this close series.
It's a very close series, isn't it? It's, yeah, I remember some people were talking about, you know, a series like this, like the semifinals especially, it wouldn't be surprising to see, you know, a 4-1, a 4-2. But yeah, to see that it's so close like this, what am I looking for? I'm looking for this right here. All right, let's get into it. G'day, fellas. Welcome to a global championship game in the round of 4, the semi-finals between Mitoe and Knuschelbär. Spawning in the south of the map on the Japanese is Mitoe playing in the color teal, and his opponent, Knuschelbär, playing as the Portuguese in the north of the map. The map that we're playing on today is Alaska, and I tell you what, the Portuguese are probably the most favored civilization on this map. Would you agree with that statement, Lacaster?
Yeah, 100%. It's like one of the best port C map. It's a no TP map, so like the Thieves you can play against that are quite limited. And but no spoilers, but I've been playing that quite a bit with Mitoe, and I hope he's gonna go for the build he practiced, because I think this got some good potential.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it. If he's familiar with this matchup, then that's definitely going to help him out, because I tell you what, this is a difficult matchup. Let's take a look over at Mitoe, see how he's doing. He's starting off with a bit of a market start and also a consulate as well. So, a curious start. Did he pick up like a wood treasure or something? Let me have a look and see if I can check the map. Yeah, he picked up an 80 wood treasure. Okay, that explains that. I'm sort of wondering, how's the guy making so much? And also a 90 wood treasure over here. Noosh picking up an 80 wood. A lot of wood treasures on this map, aren't there? Like that's 3 big wood treasures.
Yeah. That's insane for... I mean, it's insane for both Thieves if they can pick some of those, because obviously as sports you want to make fishing boats with that, and with Japan, it's like extra wood for shrines or market upgrades early on.
Yeah, 100%. So let's take a look and spot whether we've got a deck in. The name of the deck is Go Away Harrison. So Harrison, I'm not sure if you're here right now. Let's have a look through the chat. Harrison is in the chat as of 3 minutes 3 minutes ago. So the deck name is Go Away Harrison.
Yeah, okay, so this looks like the build.
All right, I like that. I like it. If it's called Go Away Harrison, it must be a good build. But some interesting cards that we've got in here. 7 Lucky Gods. Unlocks experience point generation from shrines. Increases the build bounty for constructing shrines. A curious card indeed. Also, a lot of economic cards in here.
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of late game eco upgrades, refrigeration, royal means, sustainable agriculture, some major one cards as well. So
there's literally 1 unit shipment other than artillery in this deck, and it's 5 Nagis. That's it. It is like this is a full. This is a Noosh build right here. This is like, was the build order that you were practicing with him like max like 20 shrines into 3 TC booms? Is that what this was? Like, this is...
Not quite. I really don't want to spoil it, because I think this is like a cool build that can work. So definitely want to see how that goes.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Let's have a look at Knuschelbär and see exactly what he's up to. Starting off with Schooners in the first stage. I'm wondering if his deck is also going to be called Go Away Harrison. It's just W5. Damn it. You win some, you lose some. I guess you can't always win them all. But his deck looking pretty standard as well. No Team Coastal Defenses in here. But he does have Admiralty in the deck. This is a card that was changed from the EP over to the original, or over to the definitive edition. I understand that it used to increase the amount of units that you could build, or it increased the cap that you had on warships. So it would take you from 5 caravels up to 7 caravels, from 3 frigates up to 4 frigates, from 2 monitors to 3 monitors, that sort of thing. And they actually changed it because it was too strong. Is that right?
I don't know if that was that strong, honestly, but yeah, they changed it for sure. So now I think it provides you a reduction cost on dock upgrades for your warships, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so basically those upgrades that you've got, like the armor plating and the attack upgrades, reduces them, I think it's by about 60% from each of them. Let's have a look. Yeah, 60% on both the research points and the cost as well. So pretty decent. Especially because it covers Imperial upgrades as well. So there's some pretty big savings to be made there, potentially, if the game goes that long.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but Knusch going with the 10-10, typical Portuguese build. PC is gonna go somewhere close to the shore, I assume.
Yeah, somewhere close to the shore, dropping down a nice defensive wall as well. Now, one of the things to note is Knusch's deck isn't as greedy as you would normally expect it to be. He's got a couple cards in here that I don't really know how I feel about. Number 1 being 5 Dragoons, number 2 being 8 Castadors, number 3 being 1,000 coin. I mean, when you've got whale oil and you've got rendering plant and you've got how many whales are in this ocean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whales in this ocean. Do you really need 1,000 coin? Like, come on. Who you kidding there?
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like he's got refrigeration and eco theory, but that's it. Really.
Yeah.
And,
no sustainable
I feel
agriculture.
Like I feel like Japanese eco could just be okay versus the Portuguese Legion eco with all the upgrades he has.
I agree with you 100%. I think that he's going to be absolutely fine. And, you know, I don't know whether you're alluding to the potential build order, but I tell you what, that could be interesting. Could we see...
This looks like the builds.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought process behind it. And the first one being like shrining the Portuguese hunts close to the shore and the ones on the top right of the map as well. So, you know, when like fish run out on the Portuguese side of the sea, then he's going to be in trouble for food, actually.
Going up with the Toshogu Shrine as well. Already 100 population when it comes to shrines. So 11 shrines up right now. So despite having that 7 Lucky Gods card, which does increase the bounty that you get from shrines, it's not really going to be all of too much of a matter, just simply because he's going to have so many shrines up already. 12 shrines up now. And just continuing to slowly burn these down. Going up with 600 wood followed by 600 coin is the build order that he's opting with. We check back in with Knuschelbär. We see that Knuschelbär is just doing that standard 700 wood into rendering plant stuff. Going with the triple dock build. Or, sorry, double dock build. No third dock has been dropped down just yet. I know that when it comes to booming on water, that there's 2 schools of thoughts, either the double dock or the triple dock. Do you have any specific way that you feel about double dock versus triple dock? What are your thoughts?
I think Don Artie's 5 docks build is just stronger.
Yeah, look.
Just make more docks than you can afford producing fishing boats at a time. Yeah, it's just...
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But yeah, 2 docks for Knusch, and he made a barracks and training pikemen, so...
I think this is actually...
That might explain why he's only on 2 docks.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think that makes sense. Just even getting like 2 or 3 pikes out is really going to help accelerate how fast these get sieged down. But he actually gets out a full batch of 5 pike. So I'm curious if he actually realizes... I mean, he knows about the shrine over here, but there's no shrines on this one. But I'd be curious. He would have to know there's a shrine over here. He would look at that and he'd be like, yep, there's a shrine there for sure. So he'd be on the way over there very quickly. Mitoe, we'll tune back in with him, see how he's doing. He's obviously under attack up here at the north. At 160 shrine population at the moment, picking up that wood underneath his town center. Obviously got the Portuguese consulate in, as well as having that Heavenly Kami. So gonna have those extra cheap shrines that he's going to be able to rebuild all over the map. We can see his explorer down here towards the south, as well as his other explorer underneath his town center that is continuing to just shrine up very happily, replacing these shrines.
He's doing like 200 top of shrines and getting all the market upgrades as well, and like sending 600 coin to a job, have shrines on coin as well, and
I really do like this from Mitoe, just because when you put these down so aggressively, you force your opponent to now invest. That's 200. Oh gosh, 200 wood in a barracks, 200 wood in pikemen. That's 400 wood. That's 10 fishing boats, and you've lost. You've lost 2 shrines. And like, you know, 2 shrines. Big deal. For Japan, you just you replace shrines so quickly. It's not even a second thought. It's like, oh, 2 shrines, not a problem.
Yeah, it's a big investment for Knuschelbär for sure. Although these 5 pikes can like head on the other side of the map and start sieging more shrines, and you know, once you start like getting 3, 4, even 5 shrines down with 5 pikemen, then they definitely paid off.
Is that where you think the critical point is, about that 5 shrine point? I'm surprised that we don't actually see the explorers still sitting back on this side. You know, it's just so common to see those Japanese explorers harassing the pikemen and just divine strike, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you Knusch like siege all these shrines down, then it's definitely a win for him. But yeah, it's gonna slow down Port Sage up by a bit. But all in all, a good trade for him, I believe. And Japan, though, What was his like third shipment was?
So it looks like the third shipment is improved warship after the 7 lucky gods. So 7 lucky gods did come in.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he went for the 7 lucky gods build. Okay, and then improved warships, and he's gonna get so many shipments, and he's aging with the shogunate as well. So
Right, so he's going to be really focusing on just getting a whole bunch of XP, because when you think about exactly how much XP he's getting, so it's 0.83 on this shrine here. This one's only on 0.51 because it's only got the single moose on there. But for these larger shrines that are gathering more, it's an awful lot of XP. So 2 XP a second coming out of the Toshogu shrine. So in total, when you consider that he's got 19 shrines up right now, he's gathering about 21 XP a second. That's equivalent to...
this is ridiculous.
Is that like 17 trading posts? Is that how many that is?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely insane in terms of XP. Like you can see, he's got like a shipment. He had a shipment ready after improved warships, and he's gonna get another one due to the shogunate. And
I like this a lot.
yeah, so he's gonna send it to.
This is quite smart. I like this build order, and now changing. He's actually picking up the Portuguese exploration fleet. So I think that's the Caravel and the Petards.
It is indeed, and the specificity of the 2 boats he's sending right now, it's that they're kind of like galleons. They're like super tanky, and they don't really die to building fire because they have an additional resist, I believe, and yeah, so these timed with improved warships, timed with the Caravel and the Petards, and you could suddenly like idle a lot of the Portuguese eco and like potentially even get a contender down.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. We can see just how much damage those town centers are doing. They're barely even scratching the boats. Look at that. It's doing like 43 damage or something every hit. So now the Petard's coming in. Looks like they're going to be able to take out... He sends 1 Petard onto the town center that's building. That's going to take that out easily. And second town center gets petarded as well. So we are indeed getting petarded up in here. And the fishing boats are sitting inside the dock. And I got to tell you, I love this build order by Mitoe. This is very, very creative. He's got 2 more Atakubunas coming in behind this as well. So it's going to be 4 in total. You can see the flag sitting right behind it. Yep. Knuschelbär is just going up to the 3rd age, sending in a frigate from the home city, looking like he wants to hit that 4th age, but just not enough coin to do it. 57 villages at the moment, and now we see those 2 more Atakubunas coming out. How are you feeling about this, Lacastet? This is a pretty damn good build, huh?
I mean, this is really good, and like it's like relies on the surprising factor basically, because you like get these warships and like your boats just don't die to building fires, and behind that you're getting armor plating as well to make them even more unkillable. And yeah, like 1 frigate without any upgrades is just not enough for Knusch to hold that.
Just look at the way that they chase it around. They look so goofy because they're so big and they turn so fast. You've got a really big turn radius on them.
They just have 0 range. That's the problem with them. They're like really low range. Like
yeah, only 18 range on them.
Barely in range of the stun center right now, and see how that goes. Like the stun center is like dangerously close to go down.
Yeah, so we're at 2,000 HP at the moment, but you can just see it's slowly trickling down. It really is going to take some time. A tower also getting put up, or an outpost getting put up on the backside of that town center. Let's have a look and see exactly how far the range is on that. I'm trying my best to press Alt, but it's not actually showing me the range. I mustn't have had that setting turned on. And it looks like the upgrades now come in 3,500 HP for these boats. Looks like the Kagamaru may go down 353 HP, 313, 226. It's down to 76 hit points and manages to get away. He manages to get it away on 76 hit points. Continuing just to focus down this town center. It's down to 193 hit points at this point. The tower is out of range. She's not able to do anything about it. And now the next Atakubunas come in as well. Look how cheap they are. 300, 300. Town center going down on the coastline. And they're just doing that Melbourne shuffle that we see. Just, you know, every day they're shuffling. The Knuschelbär now in a difficult spot. Sending in 1,000 coin. Really wants to try and get up to that 4th age. But he's going to lose water. There's no 2 ways about this. Water is gone. He's lost that 2nd town center. The timing was immaculate on those petards coming in. And now we see the rest of the Atakubunas just trying their best to just catch up with those frigate. That frigate's going to escape, head around to the last remaining dock that you know, isn't encapsulated by Adekabunes. And behind this, Mitoe sending in flaming arrows to the forward. Daimyo, who's got the Yumis coming in as well. And, you know, really just putting on a really great clinic right now of, you know, a Japanese counter strategy.
Yeah.
Very well prepared.
This is a pretty good counter build. And now the point is, like, now you force Knusch to basically do something about the water, like send frigate and like train the frigate potentially. And yes, you're putting a lot of pressure on water, and now you're gonna like switch this pressure directly onto land, and like you're sending flaming arrows forward with Daimyo, getting some extra siege. You have Yumis that perform really well versus Castadors, and yeah, it just has to be careful because like Knusch is training veteran hussars, and he's got a ton of resources in the bank right now. So, you know, like even like 10 veteran hussars would just make quick work of these Japanese units.
Yeah, well, one of the things to note is that Mitoe's actually training up samurais right now. So we have 5 samurais in the queue from the Daimyo. So he's gonna have no idea what hit him when these samurai pop out. I'm incredibly excited to see the samurais out in action. Look at them, aren't they just?
I guess it's still stable and be like, oh, I kinda need anti-cav here because like if my units get deleted, then suddenly I'm not ahead anymore.
Yeah, I think he's realized that. Also sending in intervention as well, which is a very smart move. But we can now see that, look, when it comes to the way that he's shut down this water boom, he's done it incredibly impressively. Like, I am just so impressed with the fact that, you know, Knusch is still sitting on 61 vills. He's idled a lot. He's investing so much into the water to try and hold on to this. You've got double outpost down. He's lost 2 town centers. He's got a total of... he's just got this single frigate out, but it looks like now the Daimyo on the back line, he's got to be careful not to get caught. The Yumi archers dropping out, doing their best to try and protect the flaming arrows. They've managed to do a relatively good job of blocking for them, but now the samurais are getting in. But yeah, there's a huge amount of hussars. Intervention about to pop. Daimyo managing to survive just in time. Intervention gets in. Going to be able to protect these...
like game-changing move here for sure. Like, if the Daimyo died before the intervention popped, then like Japan would get cleaned up. But here it's like the opposite. Like samurais are still somehow alive, and all the hussars are dead. And oh, wow, like it's impressive how like a game can just change for such a like small thing than that.
That's exactly it. That tiny little thing can literally just change an entire game, and that's exactly what we saw because a beautiful trade happened there. It looked like it was trying to do a pull trick, but then just sort of gave up on it. Adekabunes still 5 Adekabunes up right now, dropping a castle down on the coastline as well to help defend against it. But we continue to see that the shrines are now back on wood, so the timing attack has happened, and he's moved forward. Looks like he's going to be able to get a couple of these Yumis through the hole in the wall, but the Daimyo, or rather the Yamabushis, are going to be able to push back the Hussars before they do any real damage to the Yumi. And the consequence of deleting pillars in the walls is that your walls become ineffective. Not really much you can, you know, what point are the walls if you can walk through them?
Yeah, I mean, you can delete pillars and still like not leaving holes in the walls so units cannot go through, but you need to build them correctly and spend at least a little bit of time to do it properly. And like, you remember these 5-5s that we were talking about the early game? I'm just seeing them sieging stuff on the map like constantly, and like most valuable 5-5s I've ever seen.
Yeah, we were talking about at the beginning, you know, I thought, you know, 400 wood for those pikes was pretty darn expensive, but it turns out they've killed close to how many shrines do you think? Probably 10 shrines at least. They got 4 shrines here, 10, 2 shrines, 6 shrines, a 7th shrine down here, 8, 9, and they've just picked up number 10 and 11 down here at least. So very well played. It looks like a town center going to go down on the coast here. Knuschelbär doing his best to try and get it up between these 2 towers, but it looks like the town center is going to slowly get picked off. I'm not sure if we can see exactly what the percentage is at, but it does get to go up 2,600 hit points before it finally makes its way up, and those pikes just continuing their way down the south, and a bit of a mass now building in the middle of the map. Knusch now sending in refrigeration, popping out a 2nd frigate, so he's got 2 of those bad boys out now. He's got double upgrades on that. He's got the armor plating as well as the warship. The warship combat, it's not the improved
warships.
Yeah, no improved warship. I don't know how I feel about that.
Refrigeration is quite a big question because, like, he was under a lot of pressure on land, and I feel like his win condition is like taking Japan out of water, and for that you need to take your frigates. And yeah, refrigeration is quite questionable in my opinion.
I think that the best bet here definitely would have been improved warships. I think you're 100% on the money. Refrigeration here, I mean, realistically, most of your villages aren't on food on land. What's refrigeration going to buy you? You've got like one villager that's on food here. You literally have one villager on food. Congratulations, you now have 1.2 villagers on food. I don't understand it. I don't know, maybe it's just, you know, heat of the moment. It kind of doesn't make sense. He's trying to work out, oh, what should I send? What should I send? That sort of thing. But, you know, decided to send Admiralty instead of improved warships. I don't know, maybe his UI is bugged out.
Oh, wow.
And just decided, you know, or thought he'd already sent it in. Yeah.
Yeah, could be. So if you look at the situation right now, like, Ports is popped. He's training Dragoons, which is proper counter to what Mitoe is doing right now. But still, he's on one town center. He doesn't have full control of the water, so he's only gathering on 3 whales. And yeah, I feel like Japan is probably a bit ahead here.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, but the scores definitely do not agree with you because the scores were exactly the same. 24,100, exactly the same. So, yeah, look, I think Japan is definitely ahead here because typically you would expect Portugal to be way further ahead than what they are right now. And just as a consequence of that, it means that that we can expect to see it a lot closer. We see that shuffle coming in right now. Look at that beautiful Melbourne shuffle. Oh, look at it. Everybody doing that, the Melbourne shuffle. It's beautiful. The Atacabuna is doing their best just to try and get in range, but unfortunately,
wiggle.
Yeah, they got that wiggle out. Oh gosh, they're wiggling like it's a TikTok.
It's the problem with these boats and their low range. Sometimes this happens, and but yeah, it's not gonna be hard for Knusch to push Japan out of the water because of these 2 castles and these remaining warships from Japan, and he's going H4 actually.
Yeah, I think H4 here is the right decision. But I guess the question is, like, these are all the resources he's really got. You know, he's actually managed to get a pretty good spawn. He's got 4 whales that he's actually able to get a hold of. And, like, if you were to compare that to the spawn that Mitoe's got, like, let's say that the spawns were reversed and Portugal's over here. He puts his town center down here. He doesn't cover any whales at all. He's got, like, a single whale that's somewhere out here. I can't actually see it. There it is. Out here. Whereas this town center, it covers this whale up here, this whale down here. It's kind of covering this whale over here as well. So it's like, it covers like 3 compared to basically 1 over here. So, yeah, he got a very favorable spawn. We'll say that much. But speaking of favorable spawn, a bit of a fight breaking out right now. Yeah. Apologies for getting a little bit distracted, fellas, but the Nagis are jumping all on top of the Cassadors right now as the veteran Yumi slowly push it back. Apologies for getting too caught up with the whales right now.
Yeah, it's a massive cleanup from Japan, and that's exactly what he wants because, like, Ports is aging right now, so, like, you know, getting this cleanup and, like, trying to snowball that into, like, pressuring the last remaining bastion on land for Knusch would be quite a win condition for Japan. Yeah,
100%. I missed a huge fight then, so scores were even, and now there's a 5k gap. So apologies. I'm gonna just explain to you guys what happened. Mitoe stomped Knusch. Gosh, that feels terrible. I feel like I need to go back. I wish there was a rewind button. Like, can't we get a rewind button in these replays? I feel terrible after missing that. There was obviously a massive fight that went down, and one of the cautious or the concerning things for Knusch is that at this point, the town center's not going down. So Explorer getting brought back, going to be able to get off the crack shot, but Knusch definitely getting put into the corner. Yeah. Down about 5k score. Nowhere left really on the map at this point.
Yeah, and 2 heavy cannons though could be what Knusch needs to deal with these globs and Yumi archers, and still having frigate support on the shore. Yeah, and I would love to see Mitoe just poking the boats that are on the whales right now while the frigates are busy defending them.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be a wise choice. One of the things I'd like to see, oh, he's actually doing it. It's the exact right thing that he needs to be doing. Getting these heavy cannons into the frigates. using them to try and begin pushing over here before he can get out the mortars. But looks like he might be going for mercantilism.
Out of food.
Yeah, he is too. If only
That's
he...
a problem for him, because he's only gathering coin right now, and the only thing he can really make are cannons, and...
looks like...
And yeah, Mitoe pressuring the right side of the base now, just making sure there's no villager gathering anywhere on wood or like a leftover coin mine somewhere.
Now we've got a bit of a fight breaking out. Once again, veteran Hussars on top of the Yumi, but a huge mass of Yumi here. So in total, we've got 24 Yumi that are out on the field right now. Villagers managing to make it away in the frigate. And a couple of Nagis now onto the back line, just getting straight through to those heavy cannons. They know exactly what their goal is. Also meeting a couple of the veteran Cassadors, and as you guys know, when veteran Cassadors get into melee, well, they don't have a fun time, and that's exactly what happens when they get triple poked to death by the disciplined Nagis. Mitoe cleaning up that army completely. Up about 5k score at this point, and definitely ahead despite being down in age. We see that he's stacking up quite a few resources here, so looking to get himself up into age 4 on 65 villages. So he's got the triple town center out, so 1, 2, 3 town center, all back to back, and beginning to wall his side of the map as well. So he knows exactly what he's up to. Also sitting in 2 cherry orchids, or I should say orchards, I think it's pronounced. Harrison's going to be upset with me. I don't know how I feel about this.
I feel like he could easily transition to paddies right now and send like refrigeration instead of these orchards, or just save the shipment for like Shogun or full flaming arrows. But
I think the exact same. You look at those resources, he could drop 3 paddies down now easily and get 2 upgrades.
Plus there are berries on this map. Like he can gather berries pretty much everywhere. So
berries down here. Yeah, there's 4,000 food right there.
At the end of the war.
Yeah, 4,000 food up here. Yeah, a huge amount. Nagi's now trying to connect with those Dragoons. Not being able to do it, but we've got the heavy fortifications that have come in now for Knuschelbär. So that score is going to be looking a lot more inflated than what it really is. You see a 10,000 score jump for Knuschelbär. His score really only about 26,000 at the moment, but he does have these big upgrades. But don't be so concerned to think, oh, Nush's turned on the cheats or the hacks. No, it is not the case. He's just sent through heavy fortifications from the home city. Yeah, and he's at a monitor. Yeah, he's trying to like finally get more presence on the sea right now. He's been gathering on what's quite uncontested for a while, but Mitoe's going to push a little bit with his attack Kabune. I don't really know how you pronounce that. Atakabune. Yeah, they're tough to pronounce. Yeah, one of the things to note though is that because they've got so much health, they just take so long to heal up with the docks. And so we do actually see that he's got the advanced dock in the deck. Just hasn't sent it through. That's obviously going to increase the rate at which it heals the ships. But now a forward base beginning to go down. So double stable as well as double barracks on the other side of the wall. Now, Knuschelbär does have line of sight of this. So he has Sammy here as well. Yeah. So yeah, total of he's got 6 Yamabushis in the queue right now, and a whole bunch that have just popped out. So he's got in total 6 Nagis. 12 Yabusamis, so a huge amount to provide that anti-artillery. And I think it's come through at the right time, immediately getting tempo reforms. Looks like both of these castles have been taken out. They're a little bit too close together, and as a result, the monitor attack has taken both of them out at the same time. Looks like Knuschelbär is actually going to be able to work his way on water and push Mitoe off this potentially. He's definitely going to be losing this position, and it looks like Nush is going to be able to get himself back over here, potentially even access some of these fish. The issue that he's going to have though, is I feel like Japan should just stop investing anything on water and give it up, because like the damage was done. It forced ports to like invest a lot to deal with that, and like it was out of food for so long, and now ports is basically surviving on like a 10th of the map on this top left corner, and just trying its best to stay alive. He needs to wall off like down here or something. And his food income is terrible, and like he's on 63 bills, which was exactly the same situation as he was like 7 minutes ago. So yeah, Japanese eco is just like much stronger than Pori's one right now. 75 villages for Mitoe at the moment. So even though, you know, it might seem like he's behind, or that, you know, Nush is able to get up there, exactly as you mentioned, he's been standing in the exact same spot and really hasn't been moving forward, unfortunately. Castle now going up, forward
like,
castle.
Scores are even despite heavy fortification, which is like an indicator that Japan is super far ahead.
Heavy cannons now getting a couple shots off and heading straight back into the frigate. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to this, it definitely seems like Knusch is trying his best to get back into it. Mitoe's going to need some form of siege for this, whether that means getting out those what are they called? The Monotarus? Is that what they're called? Let me see here. Here we go. Morotarus, they're called. Artillery that fires an exploding shell at buildings or ships. So he's going to be getting out a couple of those. And I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, definitely needs this. And they are quite cheap, so it actually is not a big deal if you, like, if Mitoe's crack shot some of them. It's actually okay, because obviously you cannot crack shot constantly with Mitoe, so it's not a terrible trade for Japan.
Yeah, I think let's have a look and see exactly what the timer is on that. It is a 70-second timer. No, I can't.
I think it's 70.
Yeah, 70 seconds. I think that's 70 range. Long range. It looks like rate of fire is 20. So I'm not sure whether that means once every 20 seconds, but I feel like that's definitely a lot shorter than what it should be. But beginning to move in now. He's got that bonus there from the daimyo, or from the shogun rather. He's going to be providing that nice little buff, and beginning to move in with the Morotarus, getting the upgrade for the honored Ashiga, or for the honored Yabusami, training up some discipline Yumi as well, and researching the daimyo, getting it back. Looks like these guys are doing a fair bit of damage to the heavy monitors as well.
But, you ever seen them have multiplayer versus boats? No, they don't. Yeah.
No, they don't. Yeah, it's just an 8 times versus artillery. That's it. But yeah, Morotarus.
Yeah, that's already pretty good.
Yeah, Morotarus now getting trained up as well from the Shogun. So a couple of different Morotarus, as well as honored Yumi archers also coming in. So Mitoe actually has an insane economy right now. Take a look exactly how fast that coin's coming in. 2,721 coin a minute. Look at that go up. It's like he's playing Sweden right now.
Yeah, it's the power of well, first of all having 40 VLs on coin is quite good. Plus having the shrines with the H4 upgrade is definitely pumping this eco.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. Knusch has never really been able to work himself out of this corner. It's been so tough for him. He's always like constantly been on the back foot, never really been able to get out, and now, you know, Mitoe's gotten to the point where he's got a really good economy built up. He's got a huge army, and he's just slowly rolling in. He's got his Morotarus that are doing all the work. You see those shells coming in slowly, trying to pick off the Morotarus, but yeah, just not being enough. And we see a factory coming out. I feel like the factory almost needs to be popped out over down here somewhere to be useful. But it looks like that factory wagon's going to go down. Knuschelbär, for the second time in a series this year, has lost a factory wagon. Unfortunately, it's to Mitoe, and unfortunately, it may be the final game in the series, because I tell you what, I don't think Knuschelbär is in a particularly good position. We're at 3-2 right now. Mitoe does have the lead. If he wins this game, he wins the series and moves on to the grand final. And it definitely seems like, at the moment, he's going to be doing it. Yeah. This is, I mean, this is just a real clinic is the best way to describe this. It's just so impressive. Just how methodical he has played this. He's just like, it's just like a slow ball that's rolling. It just gets bigger and bigger and faster, and eventually it just keeps going. And that's what happens. And I mean, at this point, he's just pushed him into the corner. We see the scores beginning to even up now, but keep in mind, Knuschelbär's got that heavy fortification, so really he's about 10,000 score behind at this point. He's lost that first factory. It was just down here, and he's lost that second factory, so really not a lot. 75 villagers on or that are active versus the 54. 28 of them are idle. So more than half of his villagers are idle right now. Still trying to push on this front. We're at the 28-minute mark. He's still trying to push him off water, and he can't do it. It's just like, you know, it needed to be over on water like 10 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago, it needed to be over on water. Heavy cannon moving out to get a couple shots in as well. I feel like it's only a matter of time until Knusch calls GG. What do you think?
Yeah, slowly but surely, Mitoe is just like pressuring more and more on this shore, and his army is just looking unkillable. And like, yeah, Knusch is just
not scaling at all, and he's cannot train units. He just doesn't have food.
Yeah, exactly. He's got 2 villagers on food. I mean, he's got refrigeration though, so like, that's something.
Yeah, that's something, I guess. But,
Still hasn't sent improved
you can only
warships.
train artillery, and yeah, Mitoe is just gonna identify that like Knusch has to be somewhere else on the map because there's nothing left here besides just a few infrastructures like stable PCs and an artillery foundry. So he's just gonna see these houses and gonna pop Knusch at some point, and yeah, the horse artillery going down to the H4 Yapzame. So
Explorer being brought back. The Yamabushi's just doing a little bit of villager action, getting in amongst it, saying g'day to the locals. Knuschelbär calling GG, and that was it. That's the game. That's the series. Congratulations. Going over to Mitoe, moving forward over to the finals. Going to be playing up against the victor of Age of Killer versus H, which, fellas, is coming up right now, so don't go anywhere. We've got some hella good games for you guys. Congratulations once again to Mitoe.
Yeah, congrats, Mitoe. Really solid gameplay, especially this last game, like, where he definitely prepared something and, like, executed it really well. And
let's take a look at those XP graphs. I want to have a look. XP total.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Look at that thing. Oh, look at it. You can just see exactly what he's doing. Let's take a look at the shipments total. Jeez, look at that. 4 shipments, both of them. And then just in the space of a minute just goes up to... He's on 7 shipments. Noosh is on 5.